we chat, welcome, man. I hope everyone's doing well, having a decent Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, whatever it is. Technically, it's Wednesday. Have you seen all the anime in the intro? No, I am a poser. I don't even know what anime is. What is it? Sorry. I'm too busy having sex. I don't even have time to watch anime. I'm too busy having sexual intercourse. It's all-consuming every second, every day. It's like I don't even know who I am anymore outside of... I mean, quite literally outside of your mother. I don't even know who I am. She is voracious. No time for what? Bees. Oh, God. The demon came out. Oh, my God. Chat, how we doing? Welcome in, boys.
So much. Best of friendo.
Oh, best of friendo. The Ruth Ann, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate the fuck out of that. Thank you for the 5 months. Give me a 6 month. Can I get a 6 month restream? Can I rent your stream key? Honestly, at this point, yeah, fuck it. I'm done with streaming. Today was my first day at the gym where I was like, I don't want to be at this gym anymore. There are too many people streaming now. I don't want to be there. I could not escape it. How's Bean doing? Bean? Is something having a Bean? How do I feel about Bean? Aroused.
Thank you so much. Best
You
of
see those
friendo.
sick handles from Canute Clat?
No, I did not watch anyone play basketball. I did not watch. I was busy dealing with the person who fucking decimated their knee. I did not. I was not watching the basketball. That's why I was not on stream. I don't care who called what. You seem so pissed. Well, we didn't get an MRI. They don't just do MRIs like at fucking 10 at night in the ER typically, unless it's like a fucking giga emergency. Like, that's it. So, I mean, nothing's broken. But if Bean goes live tonight, you guys go farm that. This is his farm to do, not mine. Could happen anywhere, not like he was going hard hooping. No, basketball is an absolutely asinine game to play with 4 300-plus pound dudes. It's stupid as fuck. Untrained, 300-plus pounds. The only person who should even remotely consider doing it simply, and I said that last night. Look, it's not about the I told you so. It's like, look, there's way too much to comb through. I don't like doing it. I don't think I'm going to do it today. That's it. He has insurance. Did someone Tom Segura themselves? Is that what happened to Tom Segura? Oh, no. There's a video of that. I remember hearing about this. That's wild. What am I getting into tonight? I'll probably chat for a bit. I don't really want to talk. I don't know. Like, here's the thing, man. If I like, it's just not... Do you like Fiska pudding? Fiska pudding? What up, Logie? Are you the guy I chatted with at the ER? I pretended to be Norwegian to this kind couple at the ER with Canute because I thought it was just going to be a brief exchange, but they were like very friendly. So we talked with them for like, okay, I'll give you the lowdown, okay? Canute and I were talking. That's so funny. Okay. So Canute and I were chatting with this couple. Well, this couple, I kind of interjected, politely, obviously, but they were like, oh, where are you from? I noticed an accent. And he's like, I'm from Norway, because they thought he was Austrian. And I was like, yes, that is where we are from. We're from Norway. And, I thought it was just going to be that. You know what I mean? But they were very curious and, like, friendly. And, like, just like, it was like an amicable, like, amiable, like, just discourse. It was fun. And so they just kept going. And I didn't know how to break from the facade of my Norwegian heritage at that point. So I had like a 45-minute conversation about being Norwegian and moving to the U.S. and Norway with Canute and this married couple. And I kept thinking it would stop at some point, but it didn't. And this is a positive thing. Guys in chat, he was cool as fuck. But the funny thing about the whole debacle was just that at a certain point, I was enjoying the conversation so much, I started feeling terrible about the fact that I was deceiving this dude, right? And you want to know who the real MVP of this was? Is that this all happened while Bean was getting some imaging done. He was getting some x-rays. Bean came back and didn't once question why I was talking like I was from Norway. And so I was doing everything. I was pulling out every stop I had. Bean just came back and was like, dude, I love my Norwegian friends, is what he said. It was awesome. Bean just rolled right into the improv. And this whole time I was like, and what was your favorite Mexican food? Because it was like, we're talking about our favorite foods. And I was like, my favorite Norwegian food is a fiske pudding. And he was like, what is your favorite American dish? And we just kept like going. And, you know, this guy said he loved, he said his favorite food was enchiladas. And I had to, as an Austin, Texas native, had to pretend like I didn't know what that was. And it was funny. Did he find out you were fake? At the very end, when I gave him, he asked for all of our Twitch channels. So I finally told him because I was like, he'll probably tune in and be like, what the fuck happened to the voice? I was in super deep. We were talking about how hard it is to immigrate and how people make livings in Norway, the level of education you need, you know? It was funny. We went full on. And I mean it. It was like 45 minutes of me in an accent, just unrelenting. Yes, and then if one of my favorite dishes from, it is a food they make in Mexico. It is, yo, thank you for gifting Logie. I appreciate that. The most important thing is they have, it is like a grilled steak. Very small grilled steak on a tiny little tortilla like this. And then they will do a cilantro. Yes. With little tiny onions. Did anyone get any of it recorded? I think Canute might have recorded a really small amount of me doing it because he was kind of losing it. I was lucky because I had a mask on, so I could kind of giggle and smile through it, and they didn't know. Favorite part is when Canute just pulled out his food in the middle of eating. Dude, while there was a legitimate borderline emergency. Now, at the end of the day, everything that we thought would happen at the ER did. Everything I thought would happen, which is that the doctor's going to go, he's going to do a couple, really loose assessments, but there's too much swelling to do a thorough one. So what they're going to do is they're going to do the drawer test, maybe twist the, tibia a little bit and see if there's any, weird clicking or catching. And then what they're going to end up doing is, I know it's him. I know he's in chat. After our laughing our butts off, listening to the recap. No, it was awesome. They were so polite. And that was the real issue, was that they were so, kind and affable that the joke started to feel cruel. I was deceiving them because they were showing us pictures of their newborn daughter and everything, and I was like, oh, that is a cute little girl. What a cute baby. And I the feelings were real. I was having a real conversation with these people, but still pretending like I was from North. And they were so nice, man, I hope you guys get the immigration thing sorted. Even talked about how they would scam in Thailand, and so I was just telling my normal stories, but I was Norwegian. Talked about the Arctic Circle, the Northern Lights, everything. I was just in too deep. I started feeling bad. I finally no, we didn't. I just think they thought we were friends. I think for a second they might have thought that we were married. Because we were talking about our family and moving our kid over and everything. He's like, well, I have a daughter. He didn't say I, he said we, because he's so used to Jeanette. He's like, we have a daughter? I'm curious, did you guys ever think that we were together? Did you? For a brief moment? No. The guy's here. He's Logie Bear. Because he had to clarify. He's like, my wife? Any update on Bean? So anyways, okay, hold on. So what ended up happening was that what I essentially predicted would happen. Doctor came out, prescribed him some pain medication, tested his knee, took him back to get x-rays. There was no break, which means it's likely. I don't want to be should Bean be the one who like says all this? Is Bean going live? I'm going to tell Bean to go live because he should get the farm in the clip of him talking about everything. He doesn't care? Sure. No, I mean, like, I don't think it's necessarily. Okay, look, I'm going to be candid. I don't think it's super minor. I do think it's probably some kind of structural damage. I mean, like, it's minor in that, like, he's probably going to need to do some kind of rehabilitation. I got my kid instead of I had a kid. I thought when I thought y'all were together. Yeah. Like, y'all just adopted? Exactly. Yeah. I got my kid. Like he picked him up. I think that he had a partial tear of his medial meniscus because he had really localized pain, like you could poke it exactly where the meniscus is, and he experienced tenderness. Like that was back when Canute was like, "There is no problem." You remember when he first heard it getting into bed? That's what I thought happened. Which when that's not tonight. That was like a while ago, right? I thought that there was a partial meniscal tear, which like because he could still move, it didn't cause him a ton of discomfort, but there was some pain and swelling. Yeah, he's getting it. He'll. We're gonna wait about 3 days. He's gonna take some anti-inflammatories, just for pain management and chill. He's still gonna do the diet. He's not going anywhere. We're gonna find fun ways to do it. Bean should take the swimming. Dude, you guys are such. Do you think I have like personally signed off on like 90% of what we've done at all? Like, do you? Do you really like? Have you not heard what I've said? Do you think that you're the first one to think of this? This is all against everything I believe proper weight loss platforming is, which is that we're making content out of like do you know how fucking horrified I was throughout the entirety of the wrestling stream? Just how egregiously ill-conceived that was and executed. I couldn't make any sense of it. It was fucking insane. But do you want to know what? Like, I can tell them what I think is right. You have to remember, these are my peers. Like, they're my friends. I'm not their fucking coach. I'm not their authority figure. I'm their friend. And so when I say this is a terrible idea based on my assessment of things, but we get this, like, reputation of being this, like, buzzkill trying to cut content, it's like, what can I do? Like, I'm going to say this is a terrible idea and we shouldn't do it. And then that's as far as my influence goes. That's it. You know what I mean? Aren't you and Canute the trainers? 50? No, we are not trainers. We are not giving them things to do. I'm telling them what they shouldn't do. They're adults with content of their own on their own streams. There's a reason why I would never stream that. There's a reason why I would never organize it. They are grown fucking adults. I can tell them what I think is a good idea and what I think is a bad idea, and then I can coach them. I voiced my apprehension on, yes, yes. I made very clear, I told you so this, I'm not going to ever, like, I was incredibly fastidious in making sure that they knew I thought it was a bad idea. And that's that. That being said, 90% of the time, they'll probably all be fine. This has just happened to be the 10% where it really was a terrible idea. I was very clear that I thought it was, I was explicit about just how bad of an idea I thought it was. Like, before both bench press incidents, yes. There's a laundry list of things where I can voice my personal concern, but I need you guys to know I'm essentially like fucking 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 on this is a bad idea, don't do it, goes and does it, bad thing happened. I am very adamant about certain things. I just can't control them. It's still their content. You know what I mean? Looks like he slipped on the grass. Okay. So I'll give you the lowdown on why it's a terrible idea. Is that most exercises are controlled input, right? So like we know exactly what the objective is, and there's very little element of surprise, and there's no competitive force behind it. But once you have a competitive force chasing obstacles through space, or chasing objects over obstacles through space, you have now legitimate issues on your hands. It's the unpredictability of playing a game like basketball that makes it problematic, not it being him going on grass. None of that mattered. First, I thought he was in the hospital for the cut on his knee. I was so confused. No. But that's the reality, is that my belief has been that you need to platform for the weakest link, and Beef obviously being biggest dick, but also kind of weakest link in the sense that like he's the least conditioned. And so if three people can do something and one person can't, making him sit out sucks because it's content. And he won't want to. He won't want to take it easy. He'll want to play. I don't know. I hate that I'm even talking about this because I've been kind of malding about it all day. I just feel really frustrated because I'm aware of just how... Look, this is, I guess, my lesson. Not my lesson. This is my philosophy on it, and why I'm very cautious when it comes to a lot of things involving training, is that it is always better to train a little bit less, let's say, like, voraciously, and leave a little bit in the tank or on the table than it is to injure yourself and be out for 6 months. So, basketball is a literal fucking maelstrom of chaos. It is a masterclass in physics trying to fuck the human body. The amount of cutting, jumping, landing, switch of directions, chasing after balls, it's just a terrible sport for anyone who's not conditioned to play. You'll always be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, that's why I've become way, way, way less, like, because the chat hates it. The chat hates when I'm trying to ensure that things go safely. It's always buzzkill L content, cut content. It's been going on for eons, dude. I'm just like, I'm over it. I'll voice my concerns more so even off stream. I'll do it on stream on occasion, but like I'm very clear about when I think things are a bad idea. I thought the wrestling was a terrible idea. I thought it was only going to be like hand wrestling. It was just fucking, Jace like suplexing these fucking very obese dudes for like an hour straight. It was not, none of it was smart. We have done nothing but dumb shit. So no, here's the reality. To lose weight, you need to do two things. You need to move more and eat less. It's very simple. Go on walks and track your food, and they can all lose weight. The problem is that people want content, including the participants. It's not like my content. I'm farming content on my channel. People want content who are participating. They can do it. You know what I mean? No, Bean's not going to be out of fat camp. Even if Bean just ends up being like essentially like the head chef, and he just focuses on his diet and like moving as much as he can, and like maybe he cooks the boys some food, or Bean is like, making shakes for the boys, stuff like that. He's going to be just fine. I feel like Simply and Russell need to realize that they're fine. This isn't anyone's fault necessarily. Like, if anything, at the end of the day, me not throwing a little more of a fit and shutting it down is probably the problem. I essentially like, you guys are fucking idiots. If you want to do it, I can't stop you, was kind of what we arrived at. But I mean, I could have been more adamant. I could have shut it down harder. So. But it's the same thing. It's so weird, dude. Like, I hate streaming sometimes, man. The hardest job in the world. But there were just moments where it was like, okay, this is a terrible idea and we absolutely shouldn't do it. And that's that. It felt that way about a lot of things we've done. The only things I've ever really been, if you monitor pain, especially joint pain, and you put them through like really mild and controlled activities, be it resistance training or general movement, they should be safe. But once we start, like the wrestling is still, I maul that every day when I think about how lucky we were no one got more fucked up. Because that's just big dudes falling unpredictably over themselves, over others. Terrible, terrible shit, man. Made me so upset. You should hire someone professionally to help train. Why the fuck do we... Do you think that this is like a knowledge issue? Not to like say that I know everything, but I know that it's a terrible idea for them to do certain things. They want content. It is their content. I don't know how fucking dumb you gotta be to not realize that like they are pushing for their own content. That is it. I will tell people what I think is a terrible idea. That's all I can do. Like 90% of, I mean, think about how many times this shit has happened just in terms of like, I mean, we have like multiple issues of people fucking, think about the whole regret emote, dude. I mean, like, what can you do? The only thing I could do is be more adamant. But like, I was very adamant, especially in our even recorded discussions. I mean, I was adamant that Bean go see a doctor when he first hurt his knee and showed up to stream. Do you think the rest in Canute will be overly too safe now? Nope. I don't think so. I think they're actually going to still push it. I don't think they care. No. And this is the only thing I'll say is that from now on, when they do shit I think stupid, I'm just going to leave. That's it. If I think something's stupid, I'm just not going to be a part of the content. I don't want to be on stream. To be fair, you could suggest alternatives to... You fucking moron. You fucking moron. Do you really think I just sit there and say no, no, no? You fucking idiot. Like, are you the first person to think that that was the only reason they didn't do something else? It's because there were no alternatives? I'm so fucking over people, man. People just pursue content. That's it. Like, I do my best, especially when I have free reign to actually coach people. I don't here. This is content. I'm a conduit. I'm a conduit for content. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Why do you drink soda if it gives you cancer? Because it's still gonna give me more years left than this fucking chat experience. Like, at the end of the day, dude, they want their own content, and that's what they're going to pursue. I will tell them what I think is good. Wake, you got to chill. Dude, you can self-suck. Please. Please. Put all of your time and energy into trying to get your own cock in your own mouth so that you can't type. Please. Like, no, dude, today I was legitimately so done. Like, there was at one point like 4 streams on me at once while I was trying to get my training done. I was just like, I can't live. I can't breathe. I'm going to start training at other gyms. The only thing I've never made content out of thus far in my life has been my own training ever. I cannot. And I went up and it was like fucking... Julia was streaming in the office after I was just on like 4 streams downstairs. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm getting a Gold's membership. I'm done. I'm out. I'm going to Big Tex. It's not getting out of hand for normies. It's getting out of hand for me. I'm not upset that people are streaming, cameras don't bother me. It's when people are streaming you. I couldn't be anywhere that wasn't streamed because I'm considered a part of a content ecosystem. And I don't want to be talked to sometimes, you know? Normies famously like being recorded while working out. Yeah, some don't. Some do. They're typically not into it. Social battery depleted. I went and sat in a dark room. You can even see me on Julia's. I'm going to go sit in the dark room. And I actually did that. I did that for 20 minutes straight. I just sat in a literal fucking lights out room. There's too much stimulus, dude. Especially when Canute, if you're in my chat right now, press 1. This man is late to everything. This man's like, yep, we can train it too. Do you want to know what he does? He goes to like the fucking supplement store. He's like, yes, I'm on the way. He goes to get a fucking supplement. He goes to the supplement. He shows up an hour and 15 minutes late. I'm like in the office trying to, like, I'm writing emails to companies, trying to secure sponsors, and like I'm purchasing equipment for the gym. And like people are like coming in the office and like I'm like, no one knows, but it's like, God damn, I gotta work sometimes, boys. Sorry? I was on my way? No, Canute's the man. I love Canute so much. He is. Look, the only thing I don't like is how I have to be like the shrill fucking, like I feel like I am the essentially like the militant mother and like the cool, the good cop bad cop dynamic, and I don't like it. I don't like having to be the fucking buzzkill all the time. But like when we're dealing with things involving training, there's an actual concern with people hurting themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's so lame. How's Beanie Boy? Bean's doing okay. He's live right now. If you guys want to go, give him love. But I mean, I adore Bean. I'm also just really bummed because I just think that Bean, more than anyone, had like the most benefit from doing this and being out here, and this like insistence that we do some of the most asinine shit is gonna cuckold future development for Bean on some vector. You know, he's still gonna be evolved though. Obviously, he's gonna do everything. He's gonna be there for everything. But I'm not really the trainer. That's the problem. Like, everyone wants content. Everyone's so content pilled. You didn't even get hurt playing basketball. You guys are actual idiots. He was chasing after a ball and twisted his knee. He didn't slip on grass. He twisted his knee chasing after a ball. Just because it happened on grass doesn't mean he wasn't playing basketball. You're like, it's so silly. It wasn't slipping that hurt him. He fell because he twisted his knee. I don't know if you get that. Low T paper knees. All right, Pee Wee Herman 69. Let's check this out real quick. If you're a Canute chatter, I'm banning you. No, he's not a Canute chatter. Where the fuck are you from? How'd you punish Russell? Russell isn't really at fault. That's the reality of the whole debacle is that Russell's not at fault. Like, I don't know. It's not an RNG accident. It's not. Here's the thing. Saying it's an RNG accident is like saying that if you get into an accident driving drunk, it was just an RNG accident. Like, they're in no fucking shape to be playing basketball at all. Go shoot hoops, maybe, sure. Running after balls, jumping, cutting, running, no, stupid. Like it's like you're actually exponentiating the risk of damage when you are putting the most literally precarious joint in the fucking animal kingdom, which is the human knee. It is such a fucking. If we were made in God's image, God is not that bright. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. The knee is moronic. Like, it's just. It's the single greatest. If anything was to invalidate the concept of intelligent design, it's the human knee. Shoulder joints up there too. Our joints are horrid, dude. They're so nonsensical. It makes me so bummed, man. Humans are made to die at a much earlier age. If you're actually arguing this, you are like
You and I were destined.
I
to
could
be
not
best
create
friends like we are.
like. Oh man, people are. Other than that, do you think that like you think we were first of all we were made to die at like 30? I don't. What do you think that? Okay, so let's say even in the event that you're like essentially like procreating at like a prime age, like 20, you're just supposed to die with a 10-year-old. You fucking dingbat. You guys are just like it's like half-baked brains sometimes, and I hate even being so denigrating to you guys. But like, what the fuck is like the confidence with which you debate, even just like it's just a joking, like in passing kind of like discourse. Like it's, I gotta go piss. But yeah. Missed the stream. Can you recap what happened? What's your take about CrossFit? Dumb. CrossFit as a way of getting in shape is moronic. It's completely half-baked. I would in no way, shape, or form suggest someone go into doing as high-rep Olympic lifts with poor form and dubious coaching. It's just a recipe to fuck your whole body up. To me, Chatter's obviously didn't watch the stream today. Russell, I don't care either way. Look, Russell wanted basketball. Look, dude. It's not like Russell made this happen. Russell shouldn't bear the brunt of it. At the end of the day, it's in some ways my relationship to chat, the constant need to be the voice of reason in a room full of people who are so content hungry they'd eat their own leg if it meant they'd get views. I just don't know what to do sometimes. Because I do not like being the asshole. It is not something I typically am in my like personal context, but like when it comes to like how people go about like when the intersection of fitness and content is a recipe for disaster in every way. So it's like pushing for content over what is like otherwise effective training in like the content is shooting the shit and having fun with your friends. You know what I mean? But everyone wants to elevate and make it more, you know, palatable. And it's a normal thing to want. Like, I don't feel good having to, like, say we shouldn't do that because of this, that, or the other. You know what I mean? But, like, I tried to be the voice of reason multiple times. People wanted content. And at the end of the day, I was not enough of a voice of reason because we still went on with it. You know what I mean? So, if I could have done something, what I would have done is probably just say no. I mean, like, just absolutely cut it off. To be blunt, Wake just doesn't have enough clout to tell them what to do. He's too small of a streamer to cancel content for everyone else. Yeah, kind of. I mean, like, my authority on, like, personal training or physical endangerment isn't more significant than my absence of quote-unquote clout, I guess. Also, at the end of the day, it's like if it was on my stream, it'd be another thing because we'd never do it. I'd just say I'm not going live. You know what I mean? I think it's because no one else backs you up. They all want content and don't care about anything else. I just don't think people take my like stance seriously, and this shouldn't be a Wake was right party because the actual tragedy of it is that Bean's gonna have a lot of time and energy and resources dedicated to correcting whatever the fuck happened, and that's honestly like just the shitty thing is that Bean is like the absolute dude who I was super excited to continue to push, and we're gonna have to augment certain things for him just to, you know, accommodate for what's happened, and that's what's frustrating. I'm not trying to be right in these contexts. I really don't want injury to occur that makes it so that we have to essentially reroute the entire... Like, think about how much easier it is to just not do a stupid thing than it is to have to pay for that stupid thing for 6 months to the point to where you essentially kind of, like, regress into a sort of physical debt. Like, I blew my knee out in high school. It changed the whole course of my life, more or less. It's not something that I would ever wish upon anyone else. It derailed me athletically for about 14 months. I'd say it really derailed me for about 2.5 years before I ever felt as capable on my knee again as I did before. And now you constantly have to consider risk of injury. It's like the way that it warps your perspective of your body and what it's capable of is so... It's borderline traumatic. You know what I mean? And I'm not just blowing hot air out when I'm like, okay, so a 350-pound person who's entirely untrained, who just had a very difficult leg day, who, whether or not they're aware of, like, muscular soreness, will be experiencing instability on a level they can't predict, should not be running, jumping, or cutting the next day. They should be doing something low impact or upper body. And it's exactly, like, that's just the truth of it. Because what happens is, like, people who are making meaningful progress are going to be in a position of enormous, you know, like, they're going to be put in a position of what's essentially like an enduring physical debt that they have to pay off over time, and it sucks. It cucks development. It's a lot harder. Like, right now, Bean's going to have a tough time getting up and going to and from the kitchen to even cook. Standing to cook's going to be difficult for at least a couple days. How bad is his knee? We don't know until he gets an MRI. But the important thing is that regardless, anything that has happened can be corrected, and Bean can, you know, do that. And, you know, I just told him that essentially whatever happens, you got to promise you keep up with rehab if you end up needing it, you know? I don't know. If I'm saying not to do something, it's not because I'm trying to cut content. I just think certain things are terrible ideas. Like I thought with the wrestling's a terrible idea. Even if they're just doing hand wrestling, it's like getting competitive. The issue is that once you create one, you gather a pool of thousands of observers, and then two, you make competitions occur. People do stupid things. And that's what I wanted to avoid in this context, because weight loss also shouldn't be a competition. It shouldn't really even be content. It's so off-stream. It's such a holistic lifestyle change that's very self-confronting. Like, they have to, like, really challenge their primary mode of self-soothing, which is probably food. And it's fucking hard. No, wrestling was the worst. No, it was actually so moronic. I was totally appalled at how that was done. I was so appalled. They're fucking, like, table-topping fucking 350-pound dudes while they just, like, eat shit over and over again. You gotta be the best. Well, I've been doing that, and now it's like Wake's just like, why is Wake pissed? It's because we're doing stupid shit. Well, Jace is content brained, and he's gonna start streaming, so it's like, once people start thinking in terms of this is content, it's like, it's great for you guys, but it's terrible for everyone else. I wanted to do effective weight loss platforming and just get boys together and shoot the shit, because it's enough. Any plans for cooking with the fatties? Yeah, I'd love to do it any day. I love the cooking is so fun. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's like I could jerk myself off over having been the voice of reason, but like I still wasn't adamant enough about it, and they still got hurt. So like, it just sucks, and you guys should go support. Can we shout out Bean? You guys can go check out his channel too. He's live now. Bean's gonna, if things aren't great, and based on what I could observe, I think that there's probably gonna be something up that he's gonna have to correct. So you should definitely go watch and support him and encourage him to like stream rehab if he needs it, because Bean's the man, and rehab is really fucking hard. I think everyone's too content build. The best streams have been Chill Kids and streams with the boys. But here's the thing. You're a WakeWilder viewer, which means you like bad content. Yeah. I'm surprised the hernia hasn't been an issue yet. Well, hernias are really common injuries, especially amongst bodybuilders, and they tend to persist for a long time. They obviously, you need to get them corrected, but depending on the location of the hernia, it's not like gonna really get too much worse. Emily's a good example. She made content and did not do any really stupid stuff working out, because I am maybe just of the mind that you don't always have to one-up yourself, and that people training hard and getting good advice and goofing off between sets with people because we're all friends is really good content. But again, I think I have really bad sensibilities when it comes to what good content is. What's the plan for the fatties moving forward? I don't fucking know, dude. I've without being like too much of a maul, I just like I haven't had that much control over what's being done. I say what I think is a good idea, what I think is a bad idea. I mean, I thought everything was bad. Like, I just not thought I thought so much was bad.
WakeWilder.
The problem is it's just not content, dude, and I'm just getting so burnt out of the same conversation. This is why I don't do fitness content. I don't think fitness and content are words that should really be put in the same sentence. It's just like, great fitness platforming is not content forward. It's not boring, but it's repetitious and informative, in my opinion, in that once you start trying to make competitions out of fitness between totally untrained and kind of physically incompetent people, you have issues. When did we start having injuries? When we started doing fucking dumb strongman competitions at Camp Canute. That's when people started getting injured. Or when we decided now's the time to measure our fucking cocks and everyone started bench pressing. I don't care if it makes me boring. It's why I just stepped away from it. I don't like doing that content. I just don't. Say that to Biggest Loser, it's not even the same thing. If they live stream Biggest Loser, it'd be the most dull shit in the world. I blew my left knee out twice, once playing basketball, once wrestling, ironically enough. I definitely empathize. Okay. I mean, it's not for me. Empathize with fucking Bean. Like, I again, it's like, look, I don't want any of the streamers to take the fault because this is just streaming. It's not a streamer. This is just the fucking issue with streaming. And when you have people who don't really understand the full scope of risk that comes with playing certain sports because they're not fucking, hypochondriac, Northeastern New Jersey mothers like I am, you know what I mean? They're just like, what's going to be wrong? Rub some dirt on it. They're going to have fun. How many people, you know what I mean? Like, it's me at the end of the day. Like, I'm kind of the buzzkill. Most people wouldn't think basketball's a terrible idea. And frankly, chat, when you say everything is going to cause them to, chat is the fucking worst. You guys are, either the most enabling fucking, almost borderline, problematic Andes who are like, no, do everything. Yeah, do that. That's content. Do that. You're either that or you are even worse than I am in that you're like, no, he shouldn't sneeze. If he sneezes, he could rupture his hernia. We have to make sure he wears a mask at all times so he can't encounter an allergen that makes him sneeze. It's like, it's like one of the two. And so it's like this war in chat, and I don't want to side with either of you fuckers. It's like there's nuance to the world, and chat just wants to operate in a binary. You know what I mean? And so you put, the issue is it's content in general. It's not a single content creator. No one was really in the wrong. Most people think it's just basketball. What's the big deal? 99% of the time you've all played basketball, no one's been hurt. You know what I mean? Was his knee already injured? Why would he play basketball? Yeah, his knee wasn't formally injured. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I think he partially tore his medial meniscus because it hurt specifically when you'd poke in that direction, and there was a great deal of swelling. And then I think that he further injured it, probably because in the absence of structural integrity through the meniscus, the possibility of tear exponentiates. I'm not going to be doing rehab for Bean. I'm not qualified. Bean's going to get a real physical therapist. I'm thinking about going cold turkey on all digital social media for a few months. What do you think? Stupid. I think that social media and digital media are a part of our lives, and we need to learn to develop a better relationship. It's essentially like saying, I'm thinking I'm going to stop eating. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is a part of our food. You got to do it. You got to learn how to develop a healthier relationship to it by selecting your use. What is the use principle behind it? You know what I mean? What are you trying to accomplish with social media?
Thank you so much. Best of
Do you think if Bean found a pair of magic shoes like in the movie like Mike, he wouldn't have got injured?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have gotten injured, but he would have developed a horrific gambling addiction. I don't think streamers... Imagine if that's what Like Mike was. Lil Bow Wow finds a pair of Michael Jordan's shoes and immediately becomes addicted to sports betting. I'm just overusing it, watching too much of it, and playing too many video games. Try to distill it down to what's useful for you rather than what's stimulating. Also, you're never doing too much of those things. You're doing too little of something else. So if any of you are like, I'm spending too much time on social media, I'm spending too much time playing video games. I think the problem is we're like, I'm doing too much of this, but we're not talking about what we're not doing enough of. If you focus on doing more of the better things, you just won't have time in your life for the other dumb shit. So you're not busy enough. What you need to do is find ways to fill your time. The problem isn't you're doing too much of this. It's that you're doing not enough of the important shit. You know what I mean? Like, you could think that way about diet. Your problem probably isn't that you're eating, like, too much bad shit. It's that you're not eating enough good shit. If you focus on eating all your good shit, you're probably going to be too full to eat bad shit. It's just the balance is off, and the focus is on removing rather than adding. And you should be thinking about adding rather than removing. You know what I mean? Have you seen this Aiden stuff? It's funny. He got Tate arrested again. God, I don't care. I saw it briefly, but I don't know. Bean putting himself out there is admirable. Bean is an absolute gem. He's such a beacon of vulnerability and kindness, and I just want him to kill it. He's the man. I think that he's so capable. And I'm really glad he came out. Favorite movie shoes? I honestly think that the fucking Nikes from Back to the Future go so hard. If I could own them, I would. I think they're the shit. Have you seen the UFC leg breaks? I don't want to watch a fucking, you know.
Teach you what they really mean. Go
Yeah, Talion, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that raid. Big love, dude. Is Bean a BlizzCon champ? I actually don't know. Hey, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate the hell out of that, dude. Big love. I hope you had a good stream. Settle in, team. Settle in. Welcome, welcome. Come on, come all. Wake, also, I think having a little apple cider vinegar 30 minutes before eating does slow glucose absorption, giving time to... Okay, can you send me the studies on it? I would love to see where it is the apple cider vinegar is. Like, is it in elevating the acidity of the stomach? How is that? The stomach is impossibly acidic. Apple cider vinegar can aim in digestion, but how is it stopping the fucking absorption of glucose, dog? Like, I'm so lost. I'm just lost, boys. How far is heaven? How's late night yapping? Oh, God, we're yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that, again, it's not a streamer issue. It's no one's fault. If anything, the fault will always fall on me and Canute because we didn't stress that we shouldn't do it enough. And frankly, at this point, I'm just tired of telling people more than once to not do shit. First time I was in here, I heard him say something about big mouths. Oh, a person of culture, I see. Yeah, we loop back into that. You're to the gym for the first time since middle school? Start really slow. Focus on building a perfect habit, not executing it perfectly. Start slow and be as impossibly and painstakingly consistent as possible. Interesting study I just found. Vinegar supplementation lowers glucose and insulin responses and increases satiety after a bread meal in healthy subjects. Okay. 12 healthy volunteers. It's 12 people. It doesn't mean it's nonsense. An inverse dose response relation between the level of acetic acid and glucose and insulin responses, and a linear dose response relationship between acetic acid and satiety rating. The results indicated an interesting potential of fermented pickle. Yeah, that's not insane. However, we don't really have like the data here. Where's the metrics here? Is that here? Where's that? Oh no, that's not what I'm looking at. I want to see the actual data, but we only get the abstract. But it's not enough. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interested to see if they do more. Just Guide Air's been doing. I mean, definitely not great. MMA arc. What weight class will Wake fight at? I don't think I'll ever do a real fight, but I am gonna train. Help muscles recover. Sleep. Eat food. Larger sample size needed. Yep. I don't know, man. I look. I know that I'm kind of malding. I know that I've been kind of a bitch. I'm frustrated with the whole debacle, man. I'm bummed. I hate seeing people go down and be injured. I hate being like in a position where I'm like having to like essentially defend my authority against some like my credibility essentially against something that like I didn't ever sign off on atop that. You know what I mean? And I hate that it becomes like the center of this discourse when like the reality is that like fucking like Bean's gonna bear the brunt of this issue. And I don't know, I should have been more like I should have just because I said no, don't do it, it's a terrible idea, but maybe if I just said I'm not gonna go if we do that, it would have been fine. It just would have felt dramatic because the likelihood is no one gets injured. It's just the likelihood's a lot higher that someone will, right? Let's say instead of a 1% chance someone blows their knee out playing basketball, it's like a 4% chance now. Because we have a ton of like lifestyle, like let's say, okay, inactive, that's 2%, overweight, that's another, and then existing knee injury or knee concerns, boom, that's another, right? LSF was saying how they'd prefer to watch a proper approach to Fat Camp like you wanted instead of a content. Look, no one listens to me. I don't know content very well, and so if people don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. I'll tell people what I think's important, that's it. You know what I mean? Fat Camp is not over. I don't know if you need creatine. You don't need anything. You don't need creatine. You don't, no. But yeah, I've been in like a very serious position because I feel like I'm kind of tasked with being it. And so I've seen a lot of like things lately about like Wake's been so serious, but yeah, man, I feel like there's just been a lot of little hiccups that have forced me to like, yeah, I am getting annoyed that people are perpetually late and I'm not able to accomplish what I want in a day before I have to go and do my stuff because I don't have time at the end of my day anymore because I stream. So I don't know. It's just minimized resources. My perspective is my own, I guess, but it's whatever. I'm not just like blowing smoke up people's asses when I say something's a bad idea, typically. But yeah, it sucks. I would have preferred there be no issue, but yeah, I don't think it's anyone's fault in particular. It's just content, man. People are going to pursue it. You can only say so much, right? Oh no, nothing like what we did the other day. I mean, like any kind of running we've done has always been controlled and uncompetitive, right? Like you can always make like really slow cuts. Like no one's ever really pushed their body like that. Jogging, running up and down, it's not as bad as like the uncontrollable elements of competition in like an active sport. It's just not that. But I don't know, man. Feels different. Well, this isn't Camp Canute at all. But like it's the same thing. Like, I don't want Camp Canute to just be so packed with like competitiveness and like ego. I just want it to be a bunch of, like, I think the beauty of Camp Canute was that just about everyone had like an ego checked at the door because they were all out of their element. You know what I mean? I'm so confused. What is happening? Oh, God. Yeah, anyways, I don't know. I love you guys, obviously. Just fucking gassed and juiced from this. There's still no date for Camp Canute. We have a date, but we haven't announced it yet. I hope he feels decent tomorrow. I'm tired of like hearing that. Like Bean hurt his knee. He's probably gonna need to see a specialist. You don't just wake up from this and be okay. It's why I'm so annoyed with like this. It's literally just blind optimism. The same blind optimism that happened when he hurt his knee the first time. Bean was hurt from the jump. He had something wrong with his knee, probably a partial medial meniscus tear, and needed to see a specialist. To my suggestion. I hate it. It's not even. Damn it. It's just like I wish people would fucking listen. No, it's not like I called it like fucking. It's just like I don't know. It's not like I even cry wolf, man. I'm just saying when I think something could go wrong, and I'm not trying to orbit it constantly. But like when you start making content out of fitness, it becomes super fucking challenging because the risk is so high. The likelihood of it not just being fitness is enormous, right? Once you start making competition out of things, I mean, dude, we've gotten so lucky. Like, yes, most people, when they go out to play a game of pickup basketball, don't witness an injury. So it feels like, why is this person freaking out? But like, I'm aware of risk factors and how they compound. It's like being like, fucking driving after being awake for 48 hours and having a beer. It's like, most of the times you get in the car, you don't crash. But this particular instance, it's kind of bad. I don't know. I think I'm just so over the computer. Like the past 2 months, man, I don't want to be on my computer ever. Like I'm so over the computer. I think Corona, they can't take me serious when you look at me like that. What? That's how many times I've heard that fucking clip. No, I think I'm just over content right now. Like I'm so like burnt out of it, turning every element of my life into fucking just high stakes content. And like I'm in too much shit right now. I'm gonna probably scale back soon and just do like a few things. I don't know. It's like once we start getting into like a really big kind of like, it's kind of like anytime we get in a position where everyone wants to outdo each other, it just gets exhausting. And I felt it today. Like I was so annoyed before the basketball stuff, just because everyone was live around me, and I was like, I don't want to be on camera today. So I think I've just been burnt out. Like I'm going like nonverbal in situations, which is like weird. Like I'm just like nonverbal, and I'm like I don't want to. I don't know. I saw you weren't in the office before. What do you mean? I was in the office. I got to the gym at like 1:30, 1:45. Did Julia only just start streaming? Yeah, Julia started streaming after meeting Miz. Oh, before leaving for basketball? Yeah, I had to go. Well, I just had to go do email shit. Even Julia seemed like she just wanted to lift it when we all were streaming. Well, I didn't engage her ever. Like, I never tried to get her on camera or talk to her on stream. I just was streaming. Like we all can do that. That's just fine. I know can't wait for Jace's streams. I don't give a fuck. He's a content goblin. Dude's pushing. He's gonna do well. Same thing I feel about everyone who's starting a stream. I just don't care. Now, Melissa's the shit. Our front desk crew's the shit. Melissa's been streaming for a long time, before Camp Canute even. I saw you want to know about the audio. I'm just not talking about my audio. And thank you for liking it. Is there software that can fully help me out? I did voice meter. All I use is voice meter. You probably need a cloud booster or something. I don't know what it's called. Wait, you have these moves on and off. Maybe speak to a professional. Edimu, do you enjoy what you do in my chat? Do you enjoy it? Because, like, I hope it's like you're like, man, I get something out of this because you're such you're a thorn in the side right now, dog. You do not care. Why do they all keep playing ball while Bean was in agony? Because the stream was still live. I mean, like, look, man. At the end of the day, I was the one who's just like, I don't want to. I needed to recuse myself from content because I wasn't in a good position. So I wanted to just sit there and shoot the shit with Bean and deal with that. What are my thoughts on Tectone experiencing all this aggression? Okay, let me see.
How did they get Sear on that? That's insane. Dude, imagine innovating. That's what Sear most feels. That's what most Sear.
Kind of disappointed Ironforge only turned into a hub of streamers. It really hasn't. The problem is that a lot of people who weren't streamers have become streamers there. And so that's like the real rot. And what I was most worried about when Julia first said she was going to start streaming is that I knew she'd do well, and I knew that that would be the first of many people who would essentially come in as normal people and leave as streamers. And that is where the rot could set, where everyone now, once they come into contact with streaming, especially if they get platformed because they're being cool, normal people, right? Is that once they come into contact with streaming and they maybe get attention through it, they'll think that, well, I mean, it is accessible to them at that point. It is easy.
How did they get Sear on that?
Last time I was here, I was blasted. I've been going to AA and got my 3-month chip. I'll sit there with them. Hey, Mazel Tov, dude. That's fucking awesome. I do remember you, Striker. I'm glad you're doing okay, man. Congrats.
That's insane. Dude, imagine innovating. That's what Sear most feels. That's what most Sear. God, you didn't say that!
Now, most of the people who start streaming are cool. Like, how many times have you seen James or Eric interject on stream ever? Or Julie? I mean, Julie's been invited and everything. Same with London. They've all been really helpful. Most of these people have just been invited into streams. You know what I mean? And they saw it as an opportunity and did it. It's totally fine. I don't think Julia will fall off. She's a good streamer. Like, I don't have any issue. I'm just saying that, like, that's where the rot begins, is once everyone who comes into contact with streaming starts it. It's a stress all the time. Everyone wants to do it because the barrier to entry is so low. You just need a phone. And to have people give a fuck about it. You know what I mean? You angry today? Or was Elden Ring getting to you? No, I'm angry today. Julia's not a leech. I think that Julia's like a great. I think she has a great mind for content. I think she's like really strategic with it and like pushes content appropriately. Like she has a good intuition for like where and when to be and how to be, and she's doing well. Leeches aren't people who are invited around, dude.
Most feels that's what most
What is the rot? No, the rot is when like the gym becomes a place where normal people start to become streamers. You know what I mean? It's good to like have a product like that, but like once everyone thinks like I should start a stream when they're there, it's when it's going to become a mess.
Most feels that's what most
And I knew like once Julia said she was going to stream, I knew we'd have a problem on our hands, because once people saw that there was like not just a case study, but I knew Julia would get big very quickly because of it. And I was going to say that the magnitude of that success would make it something everyone wanted to do.
God, you didn't say that!
Test tone. I don't know, man. Do you guys have fun at the gym? Do you like? I like being there. I like all the streams. Or I like all the like streamers and all my friends being there. I just don't always want to stream. I don't always want to be on stream when I'm, because frankly, I don't want to like I don't have an endless battery for social engagement. Like I get burnt out really hard and I don't want to talk at all. Like to where I won't talk. Like I will not say things to people. I entered the office and Julia was streaming in there and I said, "Everyone's fucking streaming today," and I left. And it's half a meme, but also it is. Like I can't. There's nowhere safe from a stream sometimes. And when you're a content creator that's featured in it, you have to like move. No, I love being live on my own stream. This isn't being social at all. I don't present here. My stream's almost an alt stream. Like it's so little thought gets put into what I do on my stream. I go live and I just talk about whatever I'm thinking about that day. And today it's my stresses. Just skip streams when you're feeling like that? No, I what? Like not wanting, that's what I did. I just stepped away. What's the last movie you watched? Like new movie? I don't know, man. I liked when you were training Emily, felt genuine slower pace. And it's like the opposite. Well, I love training people. It's really fun to train people one-on-one. It's the shit.
Thank you so much.
Wake Wide
Best
Jam.
friend.
Yo, big love, brother. I'm just not someone who like when everyone gets super content pilled and just starts like yelling over each other, it's awful. I love like one-on-one streams, like small group streams, things with like Miz, Emily, really anything that's either one-on-one or in like a really good group I've loved. It's been the total shit. But like once we start getting super content pilled, I get so burnt out. Um, Asian Katie, are there specific personal trainers? Yeah, we have personal trainers who work out of the gym, but we kind of like landlord it in a way. Like they pay to have access to our facilities, and we vet them, but we don't like pay them. They can just train out of there. So it's like a flat rate. We have people that we like say like you're cool to be here because it's kind of a stamp of approval in a way, but we don't like market for them or anything. No, the office is fine, dude. I don't care. I'm just gonna probably I'm probably gonna just create a little alcove for myself that's not that, so I can sit in there and do work in a way that's not gonna be intruded by content. Because like today, I just had actual work to do. What do you think of Miz doing coming in a fat suit? I suggested it actually. Kind of weird. I mean, it was run by all of the people ahead of time. It's a good way to get more visibility on the content. Miz gets a great stream out of it, and he gets to be hard work who actually, and frankly, at the end of the day, can realize how fucking hard it is to move with like 70 extra pounds on your body. It wasn't like it was a fake content suit. The idea was that he had to experience what it was like to have that weight on him. It's not like we're pretending that people in fat camp aren't fat. It's called fucking fat camp. The name itself is disrespectful. For you to be like, was it disrespectful for Mizkif to wear a fat suit at what we call fat camp? The whole premise is making fun of that almost. No, I suggested Miz do it. And I thought it was good content for him. It was still a fun stream. He'll probably do it again in the future. Yeah, the wrestling stream I thought was a horrid idea, and I was appalled at how it was executed. Someone just like suplexing 350-pound untrained dudes over and over again while they fall from a standing position is absolutely moronic. I'll stand on that. Don't want to be a buzzkill on stream, but it was a terrible idea from the start, yeah. I don't allow things. I don't think you understand that. I am a peer. I don't allow things. I'm not their father. I'm not Daddy Wake. I'm not like this fucking big hotshot streamer either. I'm just a dude. If I say it's a terrible idea, which I have to just about everything we've wanted to do thus far, they'll be like, no, it's fine. What's the worst that can happen? It's only going to be a small, like, I'm not their father. I can only say it's a terrible idea and we shouldn't do it. Because the reality is, in most instances, they won't get hurt. Have you invited S-Fan to do fat camp? S-Fan is way too advanced of a lifter for that. They're all novices. And he's not even that fat. He's 240 pounds. Have you ever heard of anyone who got rhabdo? Yeah, of course. I've had friends get rhabdo all the time. Not all the time, but I've known a few. Yeah. Now my friends are bodybuilders, but bodybuilders still get rhabdo. You think that too many streamers are stunting gym growth? No, the gym has over 500 members, and its first month and a half, it's fucking insane. Do I think it deters a big audience of people? Yeah, of course. But do I think it opens us up to a more specific audience that really wants to be there? Yes. The gym is, unfortunately, a smashing success. Doesn't seem crazy to require that coaches agree on everything that is part of Fat Camp. Dude, I don't think you get it. Even if that were the case, I don't think you realize how much hate that creates. For me in particular. Like, it's exhausting being that person. Exhausting. I really don't know if you anticipate, if I'm the person saying no to things constantly, just how because I don't have that respect in the community either. People don't look at me and think I, like, know what I'm talking about. And so I'm just now the person who's, like, cucking content to be, like, right, you know?
Why techie gay sex?
Also not wanting the gym to be too packed where you can't use machines. Yeah. It's not really worth. No, I love the gym. It's actually been the best thing that's happened to me in a very long time. I'm so happy. I actually mean it. Like, I love being stressed and having things. I know it sounds like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. I love having things to think about and problems to solve every day and something to build. I love it. I feel so much more purposed and driven in my everyday. I don't care nearly as much. I love my stream. I still stream every day, but, like, I don't feel like if I have a bad viewership day that my life is over. I have an actual grounded ambition of mine that when I put something into it, I get something out of it. You know what I mean? It's, like, tangible. I get to build a cool thing and, like, strategize with people off stream and actually build like what I think is a compelling product. I love it so much. Like, I don't know, man. I've loved everything I've done, but yeah. Words mean a lot. I'm very new to your stream. I appreciate that a lot. I just, I mean more to chat than anything. You're often stressed and upset, though? No, I still love it. The real problem is that I'm just not, like, I don't have, like, a veneer. Like, there's no, like, I don't present differently on stream. Like, I'm just telling you guys what I'm thinking about. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I would still have stress days. Like, I'm very neurotic. Like, I do not have a very healthy brain. I'm always going to find something to obsess over and, like, think about constantly. Lately, though, the only thing I'm malding about is my fucking sense of burnout. You know what I mean? Does having 6 owners, thus 6 people who need to agree on decisions, concern you? No, because typically there are a handful of people. The way I'd put it is that the direction of the gym is more or less entrusted in the hands of a couple people. And everything else is, like, of course they weigh their, there's a consensus vote, I guess, if things are really significant, but for the most part, things just happen as they go. Wasn't it said early in Fat Camp that Russell had an issue with ACL? There's no way Russell has an ACL. I watched how he bent his knee. It was like a backwards acute angle. It'd be a good idea to have a streaming time slot in the gym so regular people can go without being on camera, except owner streams, of course. Yeah, I just don't see that really ever being something that people give a fuck about. I'm not going to go around and tell people to not stream. It's just not going to happen. There's just no universe. Fat Camp's awesome. Thanks, man. I think it's cool, too. I wish that it was more directed and, like, beneficial for the fat ones. I feel like it's a lot of content mining right now, but I do love it still. I'm glad we're doing it. If I pick MMA or strongman to invest in, which would you go with? MMA. I would, with all the love in the world, set every strongman equipment we have on fire personally to keep building the MMA, without a doubt. Not just for my own personal interest right now, but also it's just not that interest. Like there's just not many strongmen, period. Think they love the cooking for the Fat Camp streams was a good lesson for all of them. I love teaching people how to cook. I love teaching people how to cook so much. It's my favorite thing. Got me tight soda and pickles, and I'm grateful. Thanks, Air Daniels. Appreciate that, man. Especially is going to get a lot out of what you've been showing them. I love it. I hate how upset I was today, man. But I really was. Like, it's so bad, dude. I don't want to, like, spook anyone, man, but just thinking about if what happened to Bean is what I think happened to Bean, I know what's ahead of him. And, like, it just sucks that, like, that is now what we're dealing with. You taught Bean to cook that abomination he made you? That I didn't teach him. You shaking your head in the car was maybe a little sassy, but you were good. I'm pretty sure it was when Russell was like, nothing that, he was like, oh, at least what's going to happen is you're, like, still going to get, like, sympathy bitches. And it's like, like, I don't know. It's not even like a rhyme issue there. I'm just like, stop. Furniture store with Miskiv. Worst part of Mace Hill is the future paranoia of fucking it up again. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Bean, because Bean's probably going to do what he should have done, what I would have taught him to do, is to just go on good walks, maybe train in a really controlled way 3 times a week, and learn how to cook for yourself in a way that you enjoy, which is all he ever really needed to do. I'm not the trainer insofar as, like, I don't set the agenda. People are always picking what they want to do with their content. I said no to I've said no to every active thing, frankly. But it's been, people want the content. I wanted Fat Camp to be us teaching people how they can, like, order out and eat food they like and lose weight, and teach them how to essentially develop a 3-day-a-week exercise routine and go on walks. Because the content is us having fun and goofing off. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it, at least. What do I do if walking hurts? You can do, like, one of those, you could try bicycling, swimming. Biking is awesome, especially if you get one of those bikes that you can recline in. What are they called? There are a ton of viewers that are like, these coaches are retarded. Why do they have them do that? Yeah. Because we don't. I don't. I vetoed the only things that recumbent. Thank you. And turf day, it was a perfect level of controlled intensity. The turf day was still not good. I wouldn't have done the turf day if I was setting itinerary personally. The only reason I'm cool with things like that is that it puts people in a position of just being able to walk if they're super tired, and then jog slowly until they have energy again. And that's it.
Thank you so much, best friend.
I don't know, man. It sucks. Yo, thank you for the sub, by the way. Leg day is the most impressive so far. Leg day was fun. I had fun with it. Bean did say he wanted to swim. They didn't go swimming in 12 years. Hopefully he's going to do that one day. Yeah, I mean, Bean's not dying. It's just... Like, well, we'll swim. Bean can probably go swimming in, like, 5 days. Bean just needs the real pain right now is that there's so much swelling in his knee that every time he moves it, like there aren't like a ton of nerve endings in the ligaments of your knee. like when I tore my ACL, all the pain was essentially around the swelling. I had an ACL tear and a partial medial meniscus tear when I was 15. How did you tear it? I was playing running back and I cut up field. Actually, at the field that we tried to. Wait, what? Yeah, the human body is so insane. You'll be a little better in a few weeks. Yeah, it'll be fine. I just cut up field and then got tackled. And I think it was the cutting, honestly, that did it. But I hit the sideline and cut up, and my knee just didn't come with me. My foot didn't. Like, my body did. But yeah, just brutal. But the pain went away pretty quickly. Especially once the swelling went away. There's no real issue. You playing a GTRP anytime soon? I don't know, man. I love GTRP, but doesn't he need PT? Yeah, he probably will. No, I mean, it felt like this. Like, have you ever just cracked a knuckle? That's kind of what it felt like, but in your whole knee. That. Boom. Weird. The one thing I like about Fat Camp is that everyone attending are great sports, kind and are very determined. Simply is amazing. Yeah, they're all great, man. I've had nothing but fun. No, it was like something you'd never felt before. It was so weird. I remember it so vividly. I remember falling and just being so confused. So confused. But it didn't hurt. My knee didn't hurt until I essentially the swelling pulled up. It was all the swelling for me, which was maybe uncommon, but I didn't feel pain until it was swollen and just hard to move. Chub to Chad. Yeah, I could do something like that. I do like helping people learn to train. And if it's their content, I find it even more fun. See the clip of one of your gym members getting hurt doing MMA? Yeah, I saw that. It just seemed like an awful takedown. Like a vice on the lower part of the knee. It was just a fucked up table topping. Like it seemed like it was just like a terrible, terrible premise to begin with. They do a ligament test on him. They did a little bit of something, but there's so much swelling. They did like the drawer. Doctor didn't really seem to be much into diagnostics there. It just sucks. Yeah, sorry guys. I know I'm kind of low energy now. It just sucks. ACL recovery. Hope it's not that. Talk about a grind. Yep, I went through it, man. It's brutal. MMA will get you heart. Any combat sport will destroy your body. Goes to the territory. Yeah, of course. No, we don't know. We'll know when he finally gets tested. Or he gets an MRI, essentially. How long is Bean supposed to be staying with you guys? A month. Southeast Asia. Come on. Of course, man. Big love to you, brother. I appreciate that. Bean? Yeah, Bean's from the US. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, guys, it's going to be better. It just sucks right now, but it will all get better. I was being a dingus and malding a bit too long. But everything's going to be okay. Bean will be fine. The good news is that it can't get much worse. Like, you know, like right now it just needs to heal. Did you remember that guy Kanant that we banned? He's now going into Bean's chat and saying, I blame WakeWilder for this. This is all Wake's fault. Chatters are psychotic. It's just mental illness, dude. Canute gifted him a sub on Sears channel. Yeah, leave it to Canute to fucking nourish the single most toxic community imaginable, not recognizing why it is it's problematic. Canute is the absolute man because he is willing to look at anything and see the good in it. He's not even content brained. He's just like, but they're nice people who just need a community. If they're here, they'll never go anywhere else. And I can take it. No, Canute's not that money hungry at all. Yeah, Canute's phone number leak talked about exactly when it happened on what stream, essentially where in the VOD, right? And then proceeds to essentially validate people texting him by showing every meme sent to him to Mizkif, live on Mizkif's stream. And then when it keeps happening the next day, he's like, they keep texting me? Why? It's so many texts. Because you encouraged it. All they want is attention. And you gave it to them live on the biggest platform for like a day. By chance, you guys doing HIIT workouts also? What about doing yoga with Alinity? Oh, I'd be super down. 100%. No, Canute's the man. It's great. Because for me, look, while I don't necessarily love being this like reasonable bad cop character forever, I like that. If nothing else, Canute gets to be the easygoing, happy-go-lucky guy. Oh, no, I take that back. I fucking hate it. I do not like having to be the person who says it's a bad idea constantly. I do not feel like that person typically. It's just so much. I hate this villain role. It's so dumb. Oh, I'm like the fucking like shrill, shitty mom where I'm like telling people to not do things. I don't know. It's all dumb. All right, we have to do some reacting here. I also want to play Dragon's Dogma, the original, today. I don't know if that's something that people want to watch, but I really want to move into playing that. It sounds really fun. Because I want to prep for the second. It seems like it's going to be a blast. I feel like in the meantime, I have to pee and maybe make some food real quick. How about we do that? I'm going to put on a quick video. And I'll be back in like 5. Yeah? That sounds solid, boys. Okay. That's a good video for now. Where's our animal docos, man? Oh, how we doing? Why don't these guys just try eating plants? You know what I mean? Have they heard about the benefits of a vegan diet? All right, let's do some roll for sandwiches, a palate cleanser, yeah?
Good afternoon, D.
Palate cleanser, roll for sandwich.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today we're going to be using this mystery set of dice that was sent in by a viewer. Looks like it's a sort of orange-red set. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 6, pretzel bun. The chewy, dark exterior of this bread is the result of the bread being boiled first and then baked. Next up, let's roll for main. 9.
think tomorrow will be the last roll for sandwich? Guys, everyone who's dooming about TikTok bans doesn't realize that, like, all platforms that go down, the creators
When
just
streamer
like
goes
Vine.
away, the rats come out to play.
Oh my god, it's
We
so
wait all
low,
night and
Lucy.
day to
But you
rat jam when I
donated.
say beach, mouse, beach,
Thank you,
beach,
Lucy.
mouse. Beach, mouse, beach, beach, mouse. Beach, mouse, beach, beach.
Big love, dude. Some streamers be respectful. The gym I saw multiple times. Tectone and Russell screaming or memeing at the gyms very close to him. No, because what are they really gonna do? You know what I mean? If people are gonna be, if people are a problem, we'll ask them to stop. We go on a case by case basis. Here's the thing. Do you remember when Vine went down? And then all these Vine celebrities just kind of went to other platforms like Instagram and YouTube, and some made it and some didn't. That's just how it'll be. If TikTok goes down, YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are just going to blow up.
Fine, ham. The ham I have today is Black Forest ham. Sounds like a nice sandwich so far. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 2 Limburger spread. This spreadable version of the infamous Belgian Limburger stinky cheese is what we're going with.
TikTok is spyware? Do you think any of this shit isn't spyware? Your fucking phone is spyware, my dude. You think it's all just going to good people? They're collecting data on you everywhere. Google, spyware.
With today, it smells like stinky feet, and that's because it's ripened with the same bacteria that causes foot odor. Cool. Next up, let's roll for roughage. 3
This
persimmon
sucks.
and 9 green onion. Huh, I seem to be having a little bit of deja vu. We definitely had this same combination of roughage not that long ago. I think persimmon and ham is not going to be a bad combination. Ham goes well with a lot of fruits, so that should be okay. Not quite sure about the Limburger,
That's okay.
though, but we'll find out. It looks pretty, at least. Green onion's a pretty good roll here all
The Lindberger's fucking cancer, bro.
around. One of the traditional ways to eat Limburger is the Limburger sandwich, in which basically the only other ingredient is onion, though typically probably not this type of onion, but still. There are these hors d'oeuvres that I
He's gonna give this a fucking time.
enjoy that are basically ham rolls with cream cheese and green onion inside them, which is kind of the vibe I'm getting from this, except with stinkier cheese. So maybe this will be good. All right, let's hit it
No, this guy has all of these ingredients on hand. He keeps them frozen or refrigerated.
with a little wild man.
Or maybe he does do this all ahead of time. Who knows?
Magic.
Now that I think about it, that'd probably be the best thing, right? But he eats them all on different days. Yeah, so maybe he does a grocery haul at the start of the week. He does the rolls, and then he does hello, guys. That'd probably be the smartest.
16.
Is there something to wash it down with that we can maybe kick him? This guy has been doing hundreds of these. He's never drank anything.
Yeah, gotta be thirsty as hell. A
Clearly-
cheer wine? Do they have cheer wine?
Clearly Canadian.
That could be really hard to find.
Go to a world market. We'll have you.
I will ship him some Clearly Canadian.
Wash it down with the crisp, ice cold Clearly Canadian.
Dealer's choice of flavor.
Well, surprisingly, it wasn't too hard to find. Thank you guys for the
Okay.
boon. Even if the sandwich sucks, at least I'll have a good drink to wash it down. Not a sponsor. All right, and last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 19. Roll again with advantage. In D&D, advantage is when you roll 2 D20 and take the best result. So we're going to roll again with 2 and take the better result.
Technically, it would be the higher result, isn't it? I guess it depends. Hey, Wake, how you doing? How was Fat Camp? Fat Camp was great. Nothing abnormal happened. We're all happy and less fat.
6. Pistachiosa and 11. Wasabi mustard. Well,
Pistachiosa? What?
I guess in this situation, wasabi mustard is our better choice. This stuff is tasty and not as intense.
What are my thoughts on what? Not looking. What are your thoughts?
Describe taste. What are you eating?
Why am I clicking Twitter link? Oh, wow. Smash.
Tense as just plain wasabi. I'm not sure about how it's going to combine with the Limburger, though. This wouldn't have been my first choice, but I'll take it over the pistachio spread. All right, let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's get it cut in half.
People say women will be replaced, like men won't be replaced. And we're just going to be fucking robo surrogates that impregnate each other after the fact so that the blood continues. But I don't know what you think's happening here, man.
And let's take a look at that cross-section. I mean, it looks good. While this one is a bit puzzling,
Then again, to what extent do we really just want? I feel like the fun goes away when you don't have the experience of being, like, selected, you know? Something that's programmed to desire you is always going to feel hollow, I think. Like, your mother is so persistent, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I'm wondering if the
Emmy called me out? Wait, what happened? Please don't encourage your audience to partake in lazy activities, eating from blender. Why is it a lazy activity instead of an efficient activity, Emmy? I want to see a reduction in total waste. I want to see cleaner kitchens and happier roommates. If I were to, let's say, take it out of the blender and pour it into a bowl, the likelihood of this blender existing unwashed for eons on top of the bowl goes much higher. The blades are actually removed, Emmy. I take the blade out. It's a Ninja blender. There's no blade in there. Come up with a better one.
the Limburger is going to completely tank it, or if the rest of it will balance it out. We'll find out. Here we go. Oh, I have my initial thoughts, but I have to make sure we have the complete
It's just too big, okay?
experience, and that is to wash it down with a little bit of Clearly Canadian. Well, that's nice, at least. This isn't too bad.
Oh, he just sealed our fucking fate. It isn't too bad. It's going to be a fucking 9.
Combination of the Limburger
Emmy, oh, if you guys don't know Emmy is 7'2".
and the wasabi is a little bit challenging, and I'm going to have to say Limburger doesn't
She was going to go pro until she injured her knee playing basketball with Russell
rank very highly
at his insistence.
on my list of cheeses that I like, but the onion goes well here, and it felt very at home on the pretzel bun. The persimmon is pretty much doing what a tomato would do in this situation, so.
He's going to give this an 8.7.
Overall, it's not the worst. I'm going to give this one a 6.1,
Okay.
and I'm going to call it the ham,
off.
foot, and mouth. Now to finish up the drink. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for
That was a
Sandwich. the series
reasonable
where I let
score.
fate decide my
This is
lunch.
fucked up.
Let's go. Today I'll be using this dark green, yellow, and red marbled set that was sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get started with our roll for bread. 6 honey oat. Got this loaf of soft, sweet honey oat bread from my local bakery. Not a bad.
What was your favorite bread growing up, chat? Like, what did you guys fuck up? What was your family bread? Wonder bread, sourdough, French bread. Imagine having a choice. Well, that's why I said, what was your family bread? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Iron Kids. Holy shit, what a flashback. I just remembered that. Oh my god. Iron Kids bread commercial? Bro. Iron Kids crustless? You guys remember
Introducing Iron Kids. Crossless. Bread. The first and only bread with no crust. New from Iron Kids. This is big. That is all. That is all. That is all.
Bro, like, I remember there being... Like, I remember commercials from this, but I never got it once. What the fuck is this shit?
Why I like Iron Kids bread. I just like the taste of white bread. He loves white bread.
I like wheat bread.
I only like white. I can hear now.
Iron Kids bread has
Many important nutrients.
These don't look familiar, but Iron Kids does. Like, I remember this so vividly. 2000s? Let's see. I'm going crazy, dude. I don't know. I remember growing up. So I had divorced parents, which means one parent did the sensible thing and the other parent did the cool thing. And so at my dad's house, I ate croissants and Little Debbie's and white bread. And white bread was king there. And at my mother's, I had wheat bread. Because that was the healthy thing, and she was forced to do it. Yep, the crust had all the vitamins, yes. Mom lost that war. And so at my dad's house, I got to eat white bread and Little Debbie's and Slim Jims and chocolate. I was so sick, dude. Because what I realized eventually is that my dad, while a sweet man, was just an alcoholic who wanted to be left alone so he could drink vodka and watch the Golf Channel. And so he was just like, yeah, Wake, have a Red Bull. Here's a WoW subscription. Great day. And so I'm just there, fucking like 11 years old, chugging Red Bull, playing World of Warcraft on a fucking, like, overheating laptop. Thing is wheezing. And the unfortunate thing is that I that's essentially what I still do. Little did he know, he maybe did the best thing for me. It turned into a pretty decent career for a bit.
Bad start. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 4, salmon spread. What I have here today is this smoked salmon dip made with smoked salmon, cream cheese, onion, lemon, and a few other ingredients. It's pretty tasty on crackers as an appetizer.
But my sister hated wheat bread, so my mom would get her potato bread. And you want to know what? Potato bread was not bad.
Or as the filling for tea sandwiches. But today it's our sandwich main. We'll see how it pairs with everything else. Next up, let's roll for some cheese. 5, Munster. Munster has been one of my favorite sandwich cheeses since I was a little kid. 3 for 3 so far. Now let's roll for roughage. 4, pickled okra and 8 alfalfa sprouts. The pickled okra I have this time is Wickles Dirty Dill pickled okra. It's a little bit spicy, but not too bad. I find that sometimes okra can be a little bit slimy, but these aren't, so that's good. With the cream cheese and the Munster and the smoked salmon, it'll be nice to get a little acid out.
Wake always longing for the WoW meta to return. I'll tell you what, dude. Even if the problem with WoW is that the metas are so intense and so high viewership, and then the lulls are so fucking low. If it was less extreme, I'd probably just be a WoW streamer, honestly. But it feels like unsafe to invest in as a creator because the lows are awful. Oh, Matt Damon, of course.
down there to cut through some of the richness. Should balance out quite nicely. Now, alfalfa sprouts shouldn't add a whole lot, mostly just texture. It'll do a lot of the same thing that shredded lettuce would on a sandwich like this, just with a slightly earthier flavor. All right, let's hit it with some wild magic.
Oh, God.
13.
Oh, what if we put mustard on there, but you put it in quotes?
Put mustard outside the bread, mustard on top of the bread.
Okay, right, no. That's too small an idea. It's too good an idea to make that small. Just put sauce flip, and then that means that the sauce is on the outside. It's like a sloppier...
Sauce flip.
Sauce flip. That
It's
means
an
the
open
sauce
face,
goes-
closed face sandwich.
So this season he consulted with this, I think, prominent D&D podcast to like come up with all of his wild magic or something. It's actually pretty interesting. I don't mind.
The sauce is outside.
I want it to be a messy experience. Like, don't get...
Plus WoW gets no new viewership. It's only 30 plus old guys that watch. Yeah, but WoW's just awesome. Like, I just love the game. Like, if I just had like if it was more consistent viewership, I don't even just mean like the highs are awesome, but if it was just consistent, I'd run that 100%. I love WoW.
Oh, yeah. This is not a knife and fork job. I want to see wet Jake hands.
My brother, and me. Oh, really? That's a very popular podcast. Yeah.
All right, sauce flip it is. I guess we're putting the sauce on the outside.
I know.
All
that
right,
name.
last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 14, chunky garlic hot sauce.
Uh-oh.
All right, happy to have this pepper plant hot sauce back on the show. Let's close our sandwich up and I guess start applying it to the outside of the bread.
I actually think the classic crowd is a little younger on average than the retail crowd. I think a lot of the retail crowd are people who are competent enough when classic was out to not want to replay it. And that a lot of the classic crowd were younger people who weren't competent enough, and so they want to go like revenge fuck WoW. You know what I mean? So they go back in time and like do all the things they weren't capable of doing because they were kids.
Last time I had this on the show, I said it was a cayenne-based hot sauce. I want to correct myself. It's a jalapeno-based hot sauce. We got our toothpicks in. Let's get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. All right, seen worse. Well, it's a bit of a different one today, but I think the flavors should go well together. Hopefully I don't have any open cuts on my hand. Got that outside sauce. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is pretty tasty. The smokiness of the salmon spread is nice. It's creamy and cheesy. The pickled okra and hot sauce cut through really nicely. A sturdier bread might have been nice in this situation, especially with sauce on the outside. Here you go, Griffin. Is that doing it for you? But yeah, not bad. It's pretty good. I would make this again. Next time I'll put the sauce on the inside though.
8-7.
It's a refreshingly different one today, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Despite the sauce flip, I think I'm going to give this one an 8.3, and I'm going to call it the 180 fish flip. Thanks.
Hardcore content was kind of boring because it was mostly just streamers getting showered in gear and gold. I think that here's the big thing about it is that if they weren't, they never would have gotten anywhere near endgame, and that would have been really unrewarding for the viewers. Watching people die in the 20 to 30 range over and over again is super not fun, and you just wouldn't have watched anymore. You know what I mean? And everyone else would have quit. That's why at a certain point, it's like, sure.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll...
Self-made mode is out. Self-found. Solo self-found is a fun idea in concept, but I just think it was poorly executed.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by Dimension 20. They've rolled out some new merch for the holiday season, including this Boggy the Froggy reversible plush, the Fantasy High Bad Kids D20 set, the Worlds of Dimension 20 2024 calendar.
I haven't gone back to hardcore after transferring my priest to era. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Classic is copium nostalgia train, nothing more. No, I think classic is the perfect MMO. I think that it is, if they made the rotations maybe just a little more compelling and gave every class a couple more fun buttons to press, it would have been perfect. I don't think what they did with Season of Discovery is necessarily perfect, but I like the step in the direction it is. But no, The reason why Classic is great is that every class is somewhat dependent on other classes to unlock its full potential. And that is how World of Warcraft, that's how a party-based MMO should feel. Every other game doesn't really feel that way. Like the present version of WoW, it's more mechanically demanding, but it doesn't feel rewarding as an RPG.
And the Talking Gallier plush.
I am completely unprepared for the perils at hand and am deeply frightened. I will go get the coffee.
You can get them all.
You kind of feel like an ant in a 40-man raid. I think that's amazing, though. I love the sense of scope and scale that a 40-man raid environment imposes upon you. Feeling small in the face of what is literally an existential threat is ideal, in my opinion.
All at the link in my bio or at store.dropout.tv. Without any further ado, let's roll for bread. 4 pretzel bun. All right.
So just turning 40-man raids into 20-man raids, and I think it's stupid as fuck. That's why I literally called with the actual development of WoW that they are going to give you the most half-baked, under-considered dog shit known to man. As soon as they announced what they were doing the Season of Discovery, I knew that they weren't listening to the community and just shitting out what's essentially a weird hybrid of Wrath, because they just think Wrath was like the peak of the game because of the viewership. They're like streamers. They just see high viewers and they're like, that must have been the best. It probably wasn't. Probably a confluence of a number of things, and it's also when people started to lose interest.
All right, another chance for a home run on a pretzel bun.
Like, so much of what they did right was in Classic, and they just drifted further and further away from it by catering to, like, you know, the casual audiences in a way that the casual audiences themselves wouldn't go on to enjoy. They'd get bored and move on.
Here we go.
That was Start of Kata. I disagree. I think that the beginning of the end was Dungeon Finder and essentially nullifying the RPG mechanics of classes.
Let's roll for main. 6 corned beef. Corned beef.
What they did to Classic Wrath is so shit, though. Gamified many systems that didn't need to exist. Yeah, but Wrath has a lot of that. Like, I think that token gear systems are an awful thing. Seeing the actual gear drop is way more rewarding than getting a token to go redeem. They just, like, they condensed a lot of loot tables and made it more about... I don't want to talk about it. Look, I don't like it. I'm moving on.
Beef is salt-cured beef.
I literally just get stun-locked on this.
Brisket here in the United States. We have the stuff in the keef. All right,
I love Classic WoW. I think it's the perfect RPG for an MMO to represent, and different strokes, different folks.
Another chance for a home run on a pretzel bun. Here we go. Let's roll for main.
But I don't think it's nostalgia.
6 corned beef.
Fuck, I
corned
wanted
beef
leftovers.
is salt-cured beef brisket here in the United States. We have the stuff in the can too, but I'd say that's not what most people here think of when they think of corned beef. All right, next up, let's roll for cheese. 6 horseradish cheddar.
Ooh.
All right, some of this creamy
Hot
cheddar
start.
with a little
Corned beef,
horseradish, but not too much.
on a
Just enough
pretzel
to be
bun?
tasty, but not overpowering. Should
Bro,
go
are
great
we
on
in
our
like a
sandwich
10
so far.
territory
I've
right
learned
now?
from over 200 episodes of this show that I shouldn't get my hopes up,
Oh
but I'll be
my
darned if
God.
this isn't an immaculate sandwich so far. Can we
I'm
keep it up?
fucking
That's
torqued
the question.
for him right now.
All right, next up, let's roll for roughage. 4 pickled okra and 8 iceberg lettuce.
Yo!
This Wickles Dirty
Safe
Dill pickled
rolls.
okra will give us a nice acidic tang and a little bit of spice. Should be a great addition. And our iceberg lettuce will add just a little bit of
Easy
bulk to the
crunch.
sandwich, as well as give something for the sauce to stick to. All right, next up, let's roll wild magic.
Don't fuck it up here. Give me cheese curds. Wait. What the fuck? Are we...
12 celery salt.
Okay,
Well,
that's
corned
good,
beef
but
is
what
salty
the fuck
as it
this?
is, but I'll take
What
it.
happened to
This
the
will add that
special
little bit of extra
thing?
umami from
I'm
the
so
celery
lost on
seed,
that.
and isn't a bad roll at all.
A gorilla monster punched me so hard in the back of the head that I died.
Who
All
are
right,
you?
last but not least, it's the D20 sauce
This is looking
roll.
like a
Here we
10
go.
right now. If we get like a steakhouse pepper mayo, that'd go fucking hard. A Kewpie mayo would be good. And he loves mayo, so I'm thinking for him. We need that. What we don't need is something like Coleman's mint, even though he'd still probably like it. If we get ketchup, obviously it's over. Just fucking come on.
18 Kewpie mayo.
Let's go,
We
boys!
truly are
This is
blessed
a
with
10.
some divine
This is a
favor
10.
today. This savory
For him, it's a
Japanese
10.
mayo
I
will
feel
go
so confident.
perfectly on this sandwich. Somehow we threaded the needle with this one. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich put together here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. Galir, you want to give me a hand? All right, and let's take a look at that cross section. Oh man, that looks good.
10.
If you were expecting Thanksgiving leftovers, tune in Monday, because right now I'm traveling with my family for the holiday. Let's taste this sandwich.
Yup. He's going to say...
Honestly, what's not to love about this
Is he going to do a
sandwich?
dance? He's
Got
going to do a dance.
First, the amazing texture of the pretzel bun.
He's doing
that
his little
salty
dance.
and
He
rich
always does a
corned beef.
dance.
That
I'm
creamy
ready.
mild cheddar with a little
give
bit
me
of
a little
bite from the
dance.
horseradish. You've got that bright, acidic pickled okra.
Do a
cutting
little
through
dance.
everything, and the
Do
celery
that. It's a
salt
10
cubie
dance.
rounding it out to make it just a big savory punch that's
Dance.
so good. This is truly one for the record books, folks. We started off strong and I got a little worried, but this is a 10. We brought this one home.
No
And I'm going to call it
dance?
the Corned Cutie.
Fuck,
Thanks for
Jacob.
hanging out, everybody.
This is
Tune
when
in
you
Monday for
dance.
the Thanksgiving
That had
leftover
10
spe-
written all
Good
over it.
afternoon, D&D TikTok
All
and
right.
beyond, and welcome
Thanksgiving.
to the Roll for Sandwich Thanksgiving leftover
I love
special.
these.
Let's go.
Because I love Thanksgiving.
Today I'll be using these.
Thanksgiving food is so good. Why do we not eat it all the time? Why do we only... Oh, because it takes so much work.
LED light up dice that were sent in by a viewer.
I take it back.
Thanks.
We're moving on.
Let's get started with our roll for bread. 6 honey oat. Hopefully our honey oat bread will be able to stand up to the loads of leftovers we're about to subject it to. All right, let's roll our first
Man. Hope your mother's ready to get subjected to the
leftovers
load.
roll. 11 ham. If given the option, I will
Every
always
sandwich will be good? Yeah, but let's just have fun.
pick holiday ham over turkey. But
You
today,
eat
all the
stuffing
power
year
rests
round?
with the
What a
dice.
fucking
Luckily,
Chad.
so far, they seem to be on my side. We'll see if that changes. All right, let's hit it with another leftovers roll. 10 mashed potatoes. Got some
Ooh.
garlic and herb mashed potatoes with some green onion as well. Technically, I guess you would call these smashed potatoes as they do have some skin left on them. But all I know is that they're tasty. All right, leftovers roll number 3.
You had shrimp there?
7 shrimp. Though maybe not a traditional Thanksgiving food, a shrimp cocktail appetizer is commonplace at many a holiday gathering. So far, I don't think we have
Okay.
really conflicting flavors going on here, but it is starting to become a lot.
Remember we learned about shrimp dicks yesterday?
All right, and here's our 4th and final leftovers roll. Here we go. 2 green beans. No green bean casserole this year.
Okay.
This year we have fresh green beans sauteed in butter and garlic and seasoned with salt and pepper. I enjoy green beans as a
Like yams on Thanksgiving? My family never did yams, no. But I love yams and I love sweet potatoes in
side,
general.
but I
They're
think they
awesome.
might be a little bit difficult texturally on the sandwich. All right, now to shake things up a little bit with a Thanksgiving
I actually
magic
love
roll.
turkey.
5, roll for cheese. All right, let's get
Ooh.
out our regular cheese list and roll for some cheese. 5, Munster. All right,
Big,
so
he
atop our
loves
warm
Munster.
pile of leftovers, we will add some Munster cheese.
The shrimp's kind of odd.
And
I
last
see
but
this
not
being
least,
a low
it's the
9.
D6 sauce roll. Here we
Why would you put
go.
ketchup there just to potentially ruin
6,
everything?
gravy.
10.
I don't have any leftover gravy, but what I do have is this can of caramelized
Ooh.
onion gravy that looks like a can of soda. Now, why would they package gravy in a can like this? As a food-based chaos goblin, I am feeling particularly targeted. Well, I know what I must do. Cheers. Cold, onion-filled gravy. It has a good taste. Needs to be warmed up.
Oh, I just got a chunk of onion.
Let's warm it up and get it on our sandwich.
Ugh.
Now that it's warmed up, the gravy seems to be gravying much better.
Bro,
the
why
Munster
are
is
you
kind of
putting it? Put it on the other bread. Why? It's just gonna run off the fucking smooth surface of the cheese. This is why people are fat. I don't think this guy's wondering why he's fat, big dog. I don't think he just came up with like a great idea here for the first time. Like when you write that out, I didn't go like, this is why people are stupid. You know what I mean?
acting like a shield and letting a lot of the gravy drip off. But on the plus side, the warm gravy should melt the cheese. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's...
Did you see it here? It's when they put all the food in their mouth, when they're eating all the food.
get it cut in half.
I just hate when people think that this is like an awesome opportunity to dunk on the obese dude making fun videos for us. It's not your fault, Chatter.
And let's take a look at that cross-section.
I
That's
don't
a big
think you're
boy.
dumb.
Well, we kind of got...
Bro drank gravy from a can, that's fat shit. Yeah, no, I mean, and dude keeps typing in my chat, that's dumb shit. I mean, like, you're just doubling down. No one is, I don't think anyone's under any illusions here. I think he knows why he's fat. That's never the problem. It's not him being like, man, why am I fat? He probably doesn't want to actively lose weight right now. He might be like a good father. He's making cool content. He's probably good at his job. Doesn't care.
I got a little bit of everything today, and it resulted in this hefty sandwich. Do you have a particular Thanksgiving leftover sandwich you make every year? Let me know in the comments.
He's doing shit for it's actively content.
Let's taste our creation. It's not bad. I wish it would have retained more of the gravy. Could have maybe used another sauce in addition to that. There's just a lot on it for what ended up being so little sauce. Also, my honey oat bread is on the verge of being stale, which caused it to not stick together very well.
Like, guys, the most important thing to point out isn't that people are obese. They're always aware of it. No one's going to be shocked. They all know that they should make a change typically. It's just very difficult to summon that will when you consider all the other things that they're actively, likely trying to, summit and overcome in real time, right? Like, most of obesity is just having one really bad dietary habit set for you, likely by your family or by some kind of formative stress. And through that and all the stress you have one reliable and often turned to coping mechanism, right? Relied upon, I should say, which is probably food, right? So food is a source of dopaminergic regulation and, emotional bolstering, and now you're being told to take it away, which requires a lot of grit. And so you have to not only stave off the stress of your daily life, but now you have to eliminate the thing that has helped you stave that off so that you can stay the course in enduring the stress of no longer having the thing that's dulling the stress. It's a pain. It is really hard to lose weight.
So that's a bummer. This one definitely could have benefited from a different order of construction, especially applying the gravy directly to the mashed potatoes and then putting the cheese on. But on this show, we just do what the dice say, and sometimes that just means we learn how.
The fact that I appreciate you being different from most creators as far as not shitting on, it's the lowest hanging fruit. You don't even have to thank me. I just think it's dumb. But thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I just think that most people know that they should lose weight. The world is constantly reminding them of it. You are in this horrific fucking tango between... You are in the single most cursed three-way, which is the rampant consumerist imperative of the United States and the constant shaming of all the consumption you're doing. Not only, so it's like, you should eat everything. Eat here. McDonald's here. Here's the new double fuck McCumburger for $4.99. Get this as often as you'd like. I bet you had a terrible day at work. I bet you can't wait to drive and get this double fuck McCumburger, right? And then when you finish your double fuck McCumburger, you go open up Instagram and you're getting targeted ads for not being a fat sack of shit. And they're just constantly telling you, oh man, I bet you are super fat. Wouldn't you like to lose weight and be shredded like this happy jack dude laughing while he hangs out with the love of his life? I bet you're lonely because you ate that double fuck McCumburger. Man, are you sad about that? Oh, good thing you're coming up on another double fuck McCumburger ad on the highway. Look at that billboard. It's this constant ping-ponging between two horrific destinations. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, you're in the most predatory space. You're constantly being sold to, and then when you're really stressed, if your primary coping mechanism for emotional distress is food, then there you are. You know, it's horrid. You're gonna like self-regulate your own emotional distress around being fat, being told you're fat, and knowing that you shouldn't be eating food by eating more food. It's just brutal. Hey, congrats, Sabotage. I appreciate that, man.
How to make it better next time. And there we go, the second Roll for Sandwich Thanksgiving special in the books. I'm going to give this one a 6.6, and I'm going to call it the free.
Why does the double fuck McCumburger sound so good? Probably because you watch a lot of porn. Like, straight up. Porn is cool, but I'll tell you, man, like, I am so much happier when I don't watch it. I pretty much radically reduced to an almost non-existent role in my life porn when I was in high school, like when I was 18, just finished high school, and I'm like a lot happier without porn. It doesn't just melt your brain/preference. It's like, okay, this is the way it's here. Remember I'm talking about how the world's constantly reminding you to go eat this double fuck McCumburger? You know what I mean? And that you're constantly being bludgeoned with ads around it? You know what I mean? We do this with other things as well. This kind of duality of social imperative exists in all facets of being, right? You got to think about the ways in which we vilify sexuality, we shame people for expressing sexuality, and then we simultaneously are constantly broadcasting provocative images, right? I don't think it's bad. I think that sex should be way, way, way less taboo than it is, right? But now you have this issue where, like, not only do you feel shame for feeling like, you know, active sexual desire, but you're constantly being sold outlets for your sexual desire that are like, well, potentially, you know, productive, also like super depersonalized and like, I don't want to say unnatural, but like definitely hyper palatable, right? No, masturbating is sick. Constantly watching porn to become horny enough to masturbate isn't cool, in my opinion. Like, I think that if you are horny, you shouldn't need, in the same way that if you're hungry, you shouldn't need to see the double fuck McCumburger to think that you're hungry. You know what I mean? If you're horny, you shouldn't need to see people fucking to remind you that you're horny, you know? Like, I shouldn't have to watch the Food Channel to be hungry. You shouldn't have to watch porn to be horny. For me, if I can't jerk off without porn, I'm just not horny. I'm bored. You know what I mean? And for you, you know, if you can't, you know, eat, if it's not like this like double fuck McCumburger from McDonald's, you're probably not that hungry. You know what I mean? You're probably just bored. Porn is cool, but our relationship to it isn't. Like we use it as a way of you know, stimulating a feeling, like dopamine, more than it is anything else. It's more of a way to just feel satisfied, but not in a way that is sexual. It's like we need to feel a good feeling, not to relieve ourselves sexually. I don't know. There's a whole bunch to it.
Refrigerator. Not the worst sandwich, but here's hoping next year's a little better. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you on Wednesday.
But yeah, no, I just think that, yeah. I have a great deal of empathy for obesity because I think that it's almost always your parents' fault. And in your parents' obesity likely isn't their own fault. It's likely the fault of enormous stress in a world that sold them on, you know, endless hyper-palatable foods as a way of regulating their own emotional terrain, and then you inherited that in turn. It's just, it's never really just the fault of an individual's lack of will. Everyone exacts will elsewhere. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't mean to be like an idiot, right? But if you look at like Bean, for instance, like Bean is obese, but Bean also has the enormous burden of satisfying all of your mothers sexually. And he does it very well, and he's fastidious, and he's detail-oriented, and he learns where in the labia they like being stimulated. And storing that away and acting upon that information day in and day out makes it so that you just have less bandwidth to think about food. And if you don't have good dietary habits in place, the likelihood of you being able to reinvent your relationship to food in that time is really slim. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, Bean's a great WoW player, right? He's clearly taken a lot of time to learn matchups and grind arenas. It's not just stupid. Like, that's a lot of practice and energy. It's not just like a waste of time. So I guess the reality is that if he didn't have good dietary principles set in place by his parents, it's not something he has like willpower to invest in. Like for me, food is automatic. I don't have to invest willpower into it. You know what I mean? Because I had those habits set in place by the time real life stressors hit me. And a lot of people just neglect like teaching their like kids or teaching their students or anything about proper nutrition and exercise, and so they just kind of eat whatever they can, you know, because they're typically young and won't hold a ton of weight. And kept the bad habits even out. Yep, obesity and poverty are very closely interconnected because affordable, hyper-processed, hyper-palatable, dense foods are definitely, you know, the spine of, you know, the American working class and what they eat.
Afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. This episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by Dietz & Watson. Let's see what kind of sandwich we can make using the meats and cheeses they provide.
Yeah, man, I grew up on, like, you know, SpaghettiOs, Chef Boyardee, tortellini. Just like frozen tortellinis you'd boil. Fucking, what was it? Michelangelo's lasagna that you'd microwave, shit like that.
I did. Let's get it started with our...
I think any issues with porn derive more from social and societal issues, and in itself isn't bad at all, but self-regulation and educating oneself. No, this is kind of my one, like, not woke take. I think that for the most part, porn is something that if... Porn is an immediate dopamine button, and if you don't have enough education surrounding how and when to press it, it's just bad news. We obviously think the big problem is that we keep a lot of porn in the dark. Like... We don't talk about it. It's something a lot of people feel shame about. They go with this abstinence-only stance on it. But, like, it is, to me at least, one of the few things I felt was, like, really difficult for me to personally regulate when I was younger. Because I just didn't want to stop feeling that good feeling. You know what I mean? And I could always access it. And so knowing that, yes, this does feel really good, but there are potential pitfalls is really problematic. We get very blasé with porn and, like, ride this, what I think is, like, a very, like... patently negligent stance, which is that porn is fine, there's nothing wrong with porn because we want to be sex positive, but like porn consumption can be totally problematic and happens to so many young people. It's not even the variety of free porn. I don't even think desensitization is the issue here. Like, I really don't. I think that if you're going to escalate taste, you're going to escalate taste. I don't think it has anything to do with the porn itself. I think that the problem is that we're not telling people that, like, you should use it within reason. There are limits to it. Same thing with alcohol. Like, we teach a lot about, like, most people drink in a way that's totally healthy. They can go out, have a couple drinks with their friends, you know, on a Saturday and be okay and do that forever. That is what most people's relationship to porn is as well. But for the individuals who are predisposed to addiction, you know, who may lack the capacity to, like, effectively regulate their own dopamine levels endogenously, right? Like, they're not, like, they don't produce enough. They have some kind of deficiency, a la, like, ADHD, etc. That's where the issue is. Does that make sense? It's like, same thing with, like, alcohol. You're just going to find people who are more prone to addiction, and if we're not clear that, like, this can be an issue, and you can develop, like, behavioral addiction to this because you're so latched on to the dopamine that it provides you. Yeah. I just think that we don't teach people, like, are you horny or are you bored? You know what I mean? Because I think everyone's like, oh, like, when I was a kid, it's like, oh, I'm a teenager, I have to keep jerking off, so I'd just be like 6-8 hours a day. If my mother was gone for the day and I had the house to myself, I'm speakers on jerking my shit until I hear the car door close when she comes back. You know what I mean? That was not normal. Because I'm thinking, like, oh, I'm still horny, so I should do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking that it's like hunger. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel it, that means I should indulge it. Right? You're not taught, like, maybe you're not hungry, maybe you're just bored. You know what I mean? We're not taught that about porn, ever. Porn should be healthy for everyone. The problem is that we don't teach people maybe you're not horny, maybe you're just bored. Which is an important thing. Too much porn is a problem? Oh, God, it's not even comparable. Gambling addictions cause people to kill themselves. Porn addictions, I mean, I'm sure someone's done it, but it's infinitely less problematic. There's no even actual financial stake in it. The people trying to compare the two are just being misogynistic. Anyone who's ever been, like, wanted to equate the fucking, like, bikini streams on Twitch with the gambling streams that existed, especially via stake, a wholly unregulated fucking crypto slaughterhouse, if they ever want, that's just them hating women. That's all it is. Or being gambling addicts, one of the two. They're not even remotely comparable. Like, statistically, there's no way. Just not even close. And then people want to say, but the children, like I wasn't fucking 12 years old watching porn with all my friends on their family computer, just like one dude keeping an eye out to see if their dad's coming out of the room. Like, fucking, what? No, God. 12 years old, I was actively looking for every tit I could find.
Roll for bread. 4 tortillas.
How did I even get on this? I'm so fucking tired. It's wild how quickly gambling took over pop culture recently. No, it's not. It's strategic. They just saturated fucking... They saturated media outlets with it. And then they had fucking Drake do it. Drake is honestly a fucking problem. Not only does that dude love texting minors inappropriate things, I mean, in no universe should you be talking with fucking 14-year-old Millie Bobby Brown about boys when you're an international superstar, you fucking weirdo. Dude also then went on to, like, actively promote and, like broadcast Stake as a co-owner while they have total back-end coding on their fucking slots and machines. It's so nonsense. They do. They do not have a regulated slots archive. They actually have games and slots they themselves develop and have total control over with no oversight. Counter argument: spending so much money on an OF creator. I'm pro sex work, but the thought that you spend more, you get more is just something to think about. It's not a counterpoint. The idea of that existing is like, this is what I'll say. While there is something to be said, when you spend money on porn, you get a product. When you spend money on gambling, you get a chance at making more money. So you're spending money for the possibility to make money. That's the problem. There's no actual commodity being exchanged. It's literally just, maybe I'll get this back. It's all risk. At least with porn, you kind of get what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm buying the porn. I'm watching the porn, I'm ejaculating, and then I move on. You should just be jerking off to my stream. Thank you, Curly Fries.
Quesadilla style. We're just going to build...
You're addicted to Twitch? Just stop, bro.
Everything directly in our pan here today. We'll get our flour tortilla down, and then we'll roll to see what we're going to put on it.
But yeah, no, anyone who ever wanted to equate gambling with the fucking, like, the gambling streams that were designed solely to essentially lure in those who would be most enticed by the thrill of the max win and chasing it, you know what I mean? And the women who were there in bikinis, it's just moronic. It's so fucking reductive. Charity lotteries? Yeah, charity lotteries are nonsense. Don't get me wrong, man. Both are kind of designed to find people who are, vulnerable to spending money. But the actual commodity being exchanged, it's just night and day different. Isn't Chuck E. Cheese gambling for kids? Chuck E. Cheese is an arcade.
All right, let's roll for Maine. 9, sweet capicola. Capicola is thin-sliced, dry-cured pork shoulder. It comes in several varieties, including sweet.
I mean, there are a lot of Tier 3 subs dropping insane money, hoping they'll get noticed by tub streamers. There are a lot of Tier 3 subs dropping insane money, hoping that Trainwrecks will say their name. Lonely people do lonely things. Creating a gambling addict makes a lonely person. It's very different. A lonely person wanting to feel a modicum of human connectivity is something that will exist everywhere. It's not even close. What's all the porn stars dying? Thoughts on that? It's that they're fucking partying in LA where coke's cut with Fent. Porn stars aren't the only people dying. It's just fucking the reality of being in any kind of fucking party space. Just people overdosing on fentanyl.
And spicy? Today I have sweet capicola. Not a bad...
You're literally just playing Russian roulette when you do any kind of powdered drug because the likelihood of it being cross-pollinated with some kind of just a microgram of fentanyl is so high.
Start it all. Next, let's roll for cheese. 2. Havarti Dill.
You don't think a lot of them kill themselves? They probably do. It's an abusive industry. That's why fucking OnlyFans is the best thing that's happened to sex work ever. Who cuts coke with fent? No, it's that it gets cross-contaminated. Queso hit 3K boost on Discord, biggest hot tub streamer by a mile. Yeah, the point is that lonely people are going to donate a lot of money to be recognized and feel a sense of connection to people, and that happens sexually and interpersonally. Anyone who streams on Twitch who's going to be mad at someone paying a bunch of money so that they can talk to someone on OnlyFans has to recognize that they are equally culpable in that system. In every way. Because the best way to talk to any major streamer is to donate them a bunch of money. Every time. So it's like moronic to pick and choose and act like because they're dangling pussy in front of someone's face that it's any different than friendship to the truly, truly desperate. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Only some sort of because they really, really want to and like it. For many, it's an easy out, poor, shitty life. Unfortunately, many are exploited. Well, yeah, I mean, legalizing and regulating sex work is a big thing, but also making it such that people have educative opportunities that make it such that they don't feel like they have to sell their body to make ends meet's important.
Havarti is a buttery cheese with just a little bit of sharpness that dill complements perfectly.
Parasocial aspect made OF blow up mega. It's literally the only aspect of it. It's an exchange. It's kind of like streaming. Streaming's all parasocial. Anyone who thinks otherwise is an idiot.
It also melts super well, so...
Thoughts on Brazzers? When I was 13 years old, my friends and I pulled together our money, went down to HEB, bought a vanilla gift card, a Visa vanilla gift card, and purchased a 6-month Brazzers subscription.
It's a great roll for our quesadilla today. It should be a fine pairing with the sweet capicola. It's an interesting combination today, but not an unwelcome one. All right, next up, let's roll our roughage.
I beat my dick till it was bruised like Rocky Balboa.
1 banana and...
Worth? Yeah. For me at the time, 100%, dude.
4 chives. I haven't been this hurt by a banana since the last time I played Mario Kart. Let's hope it gets masked by the other ingredients and isn't too over...
The banana's good. It'll just be a little bit of sweetness. A lot of savory, a lot of smoky. This will be good.
Overpowering. The chives, however, will be a great addition. They will pair nicely with the cheese and the dill and their slight onion.
Post-nut guilt? You don't... No, I just kept... Dude, I don't think you get it, dude. I would beat my shit for like 6 to 8 hours a day as a kid. That was if like any free time was masturbation time. That's all I was doing.
Any flavor should go great with the capicola. All right, I messed up and did this out of order, so here's the sauce roll.
Thank you so much.
Yo, Itzo, thank you so much, man. What the fuck? Yeah, dude, I was a fucking kid, a single mother, and a computer in my room. I came once and I was like, yeah, I want to do this all the time. This is better. And the major companies are basically a major factor for it being shit for the performers. They take a major cut. Yeah, of course. It's like pimping. You had a full-blown addiction. Yeah, I mean, it was also fucking 14 and horny. I mean, like, once I got old enough to where I was like, this is probably too much, I made changes. You know what I mean? That's why it's just like no one ever told me like, oh, this is an infinite dopamine button and you may not be horny. You may just be bored. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I say that. I think porn's more of a problem than we let on is because we don't tell people that like when you are just longing to feel anything, when you just want to sate the boredom, you will convince yourself that it's horniness and that like a lot of this like really like hyper permissive, almost like negligent rhetoric around like, oh yeah, we just are horny and we have to it misses the point that like that's not why people are doing that. It's like imagine if someone who was getting a little pudgy like every time they were hungry or they thought they were hungry, someone's like, oh well then you got to go eat. Obviously you're starving. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like fucking no, you need people to tell you like, no, you're probably bored. You know what I mean?
And sweet red pepper mayo. Not a bad roll, not a bad roll at all.
How often should you jerk it? You should jerk it whenever you can, like, say for sure that without any additional stimulus, just you and your thoughts in a room, sitting down, can get yourself to climax. That's what I think. I think that if getting off to you requires any kind of extra stimulus, you're not horny enough.
We'll add a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of savoriness, and some nice flavor from the sweet red pepper without being too much. All right, and I guess today it's last but not least, it's the D20 Wild Magic Roll. It's bacon!
What
All
a
right,
win.
well, I guess
This
we
is
saved
like
the
a
best for
fucking
last.
10.
Get a nice layer of bacon on here, and then we're gonna close up.
To thoughts, that's psycho? Why? Then you're probably just not horny, dude. Like, that's it. I'm not saying that porn is awful. I'm just telling you straight up. If you ever find that sex isn't as cool to you as it could be, and maybe you're like, I'm kind of what? It's probably because you're not that horny because you're beating your dick raw.
Our sandwich. I called this quesadilla style earlier, but since recording this video, I've learned this is actually called a sincronizada, when you use 2 tortillas instead of folding 1. All right, we're gonna get our lid on here and cook this for a little while until the cheese gets melty. All right, it's looking pretty good. I think we might be ready to flip it.
Any tips for calorie deficit meals? Well, there's no such thing as a calorie deficit meal, but just focus on getting good fiber, dude. You can purchase carrots, celery, shit like that to snack on when you get hungry. Even if you eat like whole bags of it, it's probably only going to be like a few hundred calories.
And there we go, no problem. Let the other
10.
side
This is
toast
a
up
10.
a little bit and get nice golden brown on that side. And there we go. I think this bad boy is ready to get to the cutting board. All right, and today we're gonna use some movie magic to cut our sandwich in half. There we go. And let's take a look at our cross section. Our cross section. Well, we have such a thin cross section that I can't get my camera to focus on it. So this is
This
here
looks
you go.
so good.
All right.
I
mean, it looks good. All right, let's give this melty boy a taste.
Let's see if the bananas do anything bad to it. That's the only...
Well, it's a messy one, but hot dang if that's not delicious.
Yep.
Just to double check, here's a banana. Make sure I get a bite with a banana.
Maybe like a 9.8.
You know, it's not really that bad. Once it's been warmed up, it doesn't really taste much like banana. It just adds a little bit of sweetness. The capicola and the bacon are nice and salty,
Ethiopian,
and
I
that
hope you're
dill
doing
Havarti
well, man.
melts like a dream. I really expected that banana to do more damage, but I am pleasantly surprised. Gotta love when the dice throw you for a loop and you still end up with a
9.8.
good sandwich. I'm gonna give this one an 8.9 today.
God damn it. I'm dyslexic. I meant
And I'm gonna call it Bananas Watson. Thanks for hanging out.
So being overly horny is normal and anything less, there's something wrong with you? What? I didn't say that. What do you mean? I'm just saying that if you don't want to masturbate to your own thoughts, you're not horny. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. I'm just saying you probably don't really need to jerk off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying that if you're hungry, if you think you're hungry and you have, like, well-seasoned chicken breast, like, and you don't want to eat that, you're probably not hungry. You're bored. You're needing stimulus.
Hanging out with me today. I hope you have a
It's the same thing.
great day, and I'll see you again on Friday. Good afternoon.
Which I don't think is out there at all. Oh shit, this was my birthday.
D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my life.
What if I could jerk up to my own thoughts, but free porn is there, so I prefer that? You're lying to yourself. Jerk off to your own thoughts. Just prove it. Prove that it's totally sufficient. I'm just telling you, I think you'll all be shocked at how, like, not motivated you are.
Lunch, let's go. Today I'm going to be using this purple, black, and gold liquid core set that I bought for myself. Thanks, me. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 2 freezer ends. Today I've got 2 slices of farmhouse sourdough that I've toasted up here. They may look a little dark on camera, but they're not burnt.
If I do anything, I'll do like erotica, because I think erotica is awesome.
All right, next up, let's roll for me.
Also, like, guys, I'm not like anti jerking off or porn. I'm just saying that, like, if you think maybe you have an issue, you know what I mean? Try what I'm telling you. It's a good litmus test.
9 ham. I seem to be
Like, I'm very pro beating your shit, and I'm gonna fucking pulverize my fucking pubis here shortly. It's not...
getting ham a lot lately, but I'm not complaining about that. I'll take a nice ham sandwich any day. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 5 halloumi.
Some people can't really see images in their mind, though. Then connect to the feeling? Can you not think of a scenario in your head? It just doesn't sound like, I'm not saying I'm visualizing everything, but you're like considering something, you know?
Halloumi. Halloumi is a traditional cheese from Cyprus that's popular all over the Mediterranean and Middle East. It's made with both sheep's milk and goat's milk and has a very high melting temperature. Because of its melting temperature, it's often served grilled, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to cut a couple about 1/4-inch slices and toss them in our pan on medium-high heat. They cook for about 4 minutes on each side, and when they're done, they have this nice golden brown skin on them. I'm excited to have this on the show today. I've been looking for it for a long time locally, and I finally found some.
That looks
That's
delicious. What is
grilled,
this again?
Crisp cheese. 5. Halloumi. Halloumi is a traditional cheese from Cyprus that's popular all over the Mediterranean and Middle East. It's made with both sheep's milk and goat's milk and has a very high melting temperature. Because of its melting temperature, it's often served grilled, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to cut a couple about 1/4-inch slices and toss them in our pan on medium-high heat. They cook for about 4 minutes on each side, and when they're done, they have this nice golden brown skin on them. I'm excited to have this on the show today. I've been looking for it for a long time locally, and I finally found it.
I guess what I mean to say is that the likelihood of you actually being horny if you can't come to your own thoughts is actually pretty nil. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't eat unless I go have ice cream, I'm not hungry. That's how I think, at least.
Found some. Next up, let's roll for some roughage. 7 tomato and 8 marinated mushrooms. Not a bad roll for roughage today.
That also doesn't mean that you shouldn't watch porn. I'm just saying that.
I'm a big fan of tomatoes on my sandwiches. They're nice and refreshing and add just a slight bit of acid. They should go.
Yeah, Canute, we're watching a food video and talking about porn. Life is a mess.
Go great with both the ham and the cheese. These Italian marinated mushrooms are marinated in an olive
this is
oil
gonna be like
vinegar
a high
mixture
9.
with some pimento and spices. I love mushrooms, so this is a great roll for me. Gonna dice them up a little bit so they don't roll all over the place. And gonna make a nice healthy pile of them right up there on our tomatoes. Ham, fried cheese.
What do you think about the damage short-form content is doing to our brains? It's not. We assess the concept of damage in the context of like what it is we think the brain should be doing, but you have to realize that all tasks and consumption are going to evolve to short-term content. Damage is a relative term. I think that the brain is going to specialize in shorter bursts ultimately. It's a problem for us. It's a problem for, retrofitting these newer parts into older schemas, but I don't think it's a problem. Men don't get horny from thoughts. They need to see the hot bod. Women do need to think about it mentally. All right, bud.
Tomato.
You're right. I'm wrong. I can't believe you checkmated me so quick.
And mushroom. Getting a little bit of a.
You're right. Men only need to see hot bod. No thoughts, no preferences, no scenarios erotic to them. No, nothing.
A deconstructed pizza vibe so far. All right, let's hit it with a little wild magic. 11. We've already rolled that on our McElroy family table, so let's refer to our original table. 11 is truffle salt.
Big.
All right, so we're just going to add a little bit more umami and...
Audio porn is huge, agreed. I also like erotica. I think erotica's awesome.
Mushroomy taste to our mushrooms and get some salt on those tomatoes.
So they get so horny seeing the
and last
top
but not
G.
least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 8. Superior Mustard.
Ooh.
Wilbur's Superior Mustard is a stone-milled Dijon from Ohio. The recipe actually dates back to the 1800s. It's a potent and tasty mustard.
The brain is wired to survive and make kids. Brain's not wired to make kids. People get on my case about this take all the time, but the brain doesn't want to make kids. The brain wants to fuck, and then you accidentally make a kid if you fuck enough. You got to think that the first brain wasn't, not that there was a first brain, but it was never comprehending procreation. It wanted to come. What? I know, but if you really think about it, just think about it long enough. Most people weren't aware of what was, like, that's almost the same, though. No. Now you're, like, almost like moralizing the impulse. All we wanted to do was come. We were horny. But the goal is, no, we don't have a goal. We don't. Our goal is to come. Now, once we understand what it does and we can determine we want to have a kid, now we're talking. But no. It is just we are rewarding something that is significant to the continuation of a species, but the action itself is not procreation. It's coming. So the scale of reward is probably going to go up with the scale of importance in the same way that breaking your leg creates an enormous negative response, right? Your brain's like, no, that was so bad, and you'll fear that forever, right? Your brain isn't necessarily thinking, I don't want to break my leg. It's that would be, it's like, it's just an I want to avoid that pain thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to break your leg. You can consciously think that once you're aware of it, but you don't know it's a broken leg. You just know the pain. You're pursuing things. So if you can't come, I can't have kids. Yeah, Russell can't have kids because he never comes. Yes. But like, does that not make sense? It's like people don't know they're procreating. They're just having sex. They're horny at first. Like the first few, they don't know. They just want to fuck. Makes zero sense. Sick.
And a promising capstone for this sandwich. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here.
This is going to be a 9-6.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's go ahead and cut it in half. Let's take a look at that cross section. All right. Some interesting additions today with the halloumi and marinated mushrooms, but nothing too off the wall. I've got a fair amount of confidence in this one. Let's taste it.
It's a little wet.
Well, it's a little drippy from that mushroom marinade, but tastes pretty good. The halloumi is salty and tasty, but it's kind of on the dry side. It's not bad that it is. That's just how it is.
Ari, when do you leave,
that
baby?
little bit of extra marinade for the mushrooms is nice. I like the superior mustard, but I don't know if that's what I would have chosen for this had I been able to pick. I maybe would have gone with a balsamic or even a tzatziki sauce, but as it is, it's still a pretty tasty sandwich. So much so, I'm going to give this one a 9.1.
Okay, I was ballpark.
And I'm going to call
That's
it
good.
It's halloumi Mario. Thanks for hanging out.
You leave in 6 hours? Ari, bro, there's no way we're going to get a freestyle in, man. I'll come visit you next time. I got to go to bed soon, man. Oh. I love you, baby. I'm so sorry I missed you this go. I've been so busy. I'm glad I got to see you too, man.
Out, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond.
This was a bad day.
And welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using this black and red set that was sent in by a viewer.
All right, I can't watch another one of these. Might be bedtime actually. I got too stun locked talking about dumb shit today. That's how I feel. Is Bean live? No. All right. What that means then. Sag Dragon's Dogma. I know, man. I wanted to. But today's honestly just a bad day. Tomorrow we're going to have a lot more time because we're not doing a Fat Camp stream tomorrow. So, or should we do a little gaming? I don't know. It's too late. If I don't go to bed now, I'm going to keep fucking my schedule up more and more and more. I don't want to do that. So let's go to Gray. No, Canute, we both got to go to bed. We got to train tomorrow. Canute, are you taking the day off tomorrow, or are we going to train? Are you doing your full bore one? I'm eating? I know. I'm not talking about now. I mean later, tomorrow, when we wake up. Are we training, or are you taking the day? Okay, let me know, because then just let me know tomorrow. I have so much pain now? Are you feeling for Bean? It's your feet. Both arms and legs are in pain? Alright, well, text you tomorrow, okay? All right, guys, I'm gonna go hit the hay right now, and then when I wake up, we'll do other shit. I don't know, but I love you guys, man. Thank you for the good day. I appreciate it, man. Less malding, more chilling tomorrow. I want to go eat some food and rest and recover. But I love you guys, man. I appreciate all the love as always. Anyways, chat, you're the shit. I love you all. You're beautiful. I'll see you tomorrow. Yada, yada, yada. You know the whole same song and dance. I wish today was a little more upbeat on stream, but I had a lot of fun. Just sorry it was a little slow and shitty. We'll do some Dragon's Dogma tomorrow. Don't forget, we hit Grayson with these 3 dots, boys. All right? Everyone have that queued up? Chat, can you spam that in chat? Go come to your thoughts. Yeah, everyone come to your thoughts. Thoughts of me. Thoughts of donating to the stream. You guys ready? All right, boys.